kids. How you doing? We're glad you're here. Rory, how are you doing, buddy?
I am very good, my friend. Very good.
Good.
How are you doing?
I don't know. Still recovering from my trauma over the weekend, getting myself,
Yeah.
I can still tell there's functional differences in my brain a little bit. I'm a little bit like, I don't like to drown, like that. I don't want to drown,
How's your relationship with the dog going?
It's all right. We don't really look at each other in the eyes anymore. Now that I think about it, we really didn't do a whole lot of that before. No,
right?
It was not a bonding moment at all. It was, and I think we're both ashamed of how panicked we both were. We did not behave well under pressure. No, I don't know. I thought I did an okay job. The dog is still alive. I'm still alive.
You're both still here. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah. All right. So today I thought we would work on audio a little bit more, trying to get the audio to work. And maybe rethink the architecture for playing the audio so we can improve that situation a little bit. And you know what? It's just occurring to me. I slowed down as I was saying that, and I spoke in generic words. I sometimes do that, improve that situation a little bit, because I'm slightly distracted by some sound coming in from the side. Give me a second, Roy. I'm going to go take care of that, and I'll be right back. All right.
I've just been remarking you have an actual professional be right back.
You like it? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. I was thinking, I saw a tweet from Jeff Fritz, aka C# Fritz, this morning saying, hey, I'm thinking about making a raid defense video,
Right.
and that said, uses good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm like, we don't really have that. I'm not all on the, to me, this whole idea of a raid defense is like this kind of made up
plate armor springs up around the edge of the screen.
Sure, we could do that, right? That would actually be a little bit fun.
But at the same time, we quite like raids.
What are we defending against exactly? I don't. It's
bring in more fun people.
It seems like a fabricated construct to me, and so I'm still wrapping my head around the idea. So I don't know. Let me show you what we did. We managed to get working yesterday. I stopped the stream shortly after you left, by the way.
Okay.
Let's do a roll out here. We're going to do Fred's great axe, and let's roll the attack. And we should see the total of die spoken out loud.
4. That is a hit.
And then followed by the hit assessment. Damage we're not doing yet, but I think we should do it. I think we should say it. The whole purpose behind doing the play-by-play, it's kind of similar to closed captioning. I want it for people who might be visually impaired. I want the game to be understandable by those folks, right? I want it to be understandable if you can't see everything that's happening. If you're just listening only, also makes a lot of sense for the podcast. Cody Gorilla says me first. Fred! Get out of the way, man. Where is Fred? Oh, Fred is in that one. I can make me and Fred both disappear, but I can't make Fred only disappear. Anyway, Cody Gorilla, welcome. Gentlefolk at the chat room. We'll give you the incredible, the amazing, the mind-blowingly fantastic. It's Cody Gorilla. Yeah, that's kind of like, that's a thematic response. How are you doing, Cody Gorilla? This morning, a few minutes before the show, I was looking at some assets for Screech Rats fanfare. I started thinking about that because, sometimes if you have a good name like Cody Gorilla, you get moved to the front of the queue. And living the dream, says Cody Gorilla.
Given the opportunity of, about 5 or 6 different people, you're clearly going to pick the one that's going to worry Karen.
Look at that, Screech Rat is here. Right? Screech Rat is here. Yeah, I'm totally I was thinking, you know what we could do? We could just build Screech Rats live on the show. Wouldn't that be fun? And then I was thinking, that has nothing to do with dog food in Code Rush. We can't do that. No, no, no. Design Patterns here. Hope everything is going well in the project. Design Patterns, I want to hear from you. What do you want your fanfare to look like? We build you a fanfare. What is it going to, what do you like? What do you want to see in it other than your name, Design Patterns? If you want one, let me know. All right. So we can.
I thought picturing something like, do you know how you've got the bugs, where you have the interlocking pieces that form the word bugs?
Yeah.
Because that feels like design patterns that interlock.
Ooh.
I don't know how you maybe represent quite well, but
We could do that. That's something we could do. Let me throw out some necrotic damage here. And the total of this, I think, is going to be 7 as well.
91.
So we got up to 100. We can do damage. We if it's more than 100, we can't. We don't have anything to say that. So we might want to fix that. 101. I think we could do that. We just because I've already got a 1 for 100. But it doesn't say what the damage type is.
sure.
So like if I say, okay, let's do 4d8 acid, you can see it's acid, but you can't hear that it's acid. Well, you can hear the special effect. But you can't
14. But yeah.
14, but you don't hear acid damage, right? That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Ping you on Discord later. Cool. Do it, Design Patterns. Don't worry. No rush either, because I'm like, as with all of the fanfares, I gotta like find time, and I'm not sure when that's going to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's kind of like one of these things. Like, what's the family doing? Okay, let's go run in, and you know. Will they know
Are
I'm
they all
gone?
happy and busy and doing things that are making them feel good already? Okay, I have me time. Quick.
That's kind of what's going on, right? Yeah.
Meant to ask, Mark, did you investigate at all what I think we were seeing was bug where advantage and disadvantage were not being thrown?
I did not, and I think we can duplicate it right now because I did learn, and I'm not sure if you were there or not, but I learned that so let's give advantage and throw. I think it's not going to happen now. But it appeared to be, it did work. It appeared to be an edge case bug that only was, that existed until we switched to another character, and then it went away. It wasn't reproducible anymore.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I guess we have to wait for that to be more reproducible anyway, then.
and because it was happening the very first time, I was not too worried about it because I was like, okay, yeah, having something reproducible is really handy to find it.
Yeah.
Let's just jump in and try it again. I want to point one other thing out. There are like 3 numbers involved in this roll. There's the 10 and the 5. There's the modifier.
That is a hit.
And then there's actually 4 numbers. So you got a +8 that is a modifier that you get as you level up. Your plus bonus is greater, which means your likelihood of hitting a creature is higher and higher as you level up. But we're not seeing what those are. We're just seeing the roll on the dice. And because I'm trying to envision sequencing this up because audio, unlike video or visual elements, audio elements need to be in sequence.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And they got to flow pretty well. We've had a thing where we had them in the right order, but then there was this large gap in the middle and it felt a bit disconnected.
Yes. Well, that now seems to be fixed a little bit. We've now got, let's do another great axe attack here. And listen to the number of distance and time between the number and the declaration.
9. That is a hit.
So 9, that is a hit. So that we shortened that down. By the way, I discovered the key on that. It was actually really interesting because I had not considered it, and I discovered it. Let me open up Adobe Audition. Let's also open up. What do we need here? We need to get to assets, Dragon Age, sound effects, announcer. And numbers. Just open up any one of these. Here we go. The key to this whole thing, to making this, and it's of course, if I say it, you're going to be all like, well, duh. But the key is from the moment the guy stops talking. Now I don't just stop the sound here; it keeps going because there's this reverberation happening.
Yeah.
That's happening. That needs to keep going. The key
Without
though
that, it
is
sounds quite artificial, doesn't it?
right. The key is from the moment you stop talking, this end has to be exactly the same on all the files. And it had not occurred to me that was the case till yesterday. So what I've done is I've given it 0.6 of a second at the end of all the ones that I started saving once I realized what the problem was. So
because that's the fraction of time you're going to subtract to start your secondary piece of audio. What was that?
Fred, what's going on, man? What the heck is going on? Look at Blue Ninja. Oh, we are adding sound. Yeah, we're playing with sound a little bit today.
Yeah.
So this was really important. So I've got like 100 and probably 30 different sound recordings for numbers 0 through 100. And the first 30 have 3 different variations because they tend to show up a lot. So I've got 3 different variations of the number 4, just said a slightly different way. Good time last night. Seen it for 5 minutes and had to bounce. Oh, cool, Wicked Blue Ninja. I did not see any. Yeah, we had some funny stuff on the show last night. We're getting better, developing as a team, so we're getting there. So anyway, this was super important, and because it doesn't matter how long it is, it's just from the moment I stop talking, how much of this it's got to be absolutely consistent on all of them. So that's what I strove for yesterday. I strived for yesterday. That's what I tried to do. Okay, so what I want to do now, I also have another folder here called damage. And here, for each of the damage types, I have different variations of the damage. So we open up lightning.
Lightning damage.
That's what it sounds like.
Lightning.
Okay, so I have these out here, but now I want to play them, is what I want to do. I started just before last night's show. I started writing the code to make it work, and I didn't get to work, so I just kind of said, okay, don't screw anything up, and backed away. But I want to start on that first, and I want to look at it, and also from the standpoint of fixing it, or fixing the architecture, rather. That's what I want to do. So let's do that. I just dropped the volume down. The music seems a little bit loud to me. I think yesterday that was an issue. Listener, damage type. Oh, hold on, that's for health. Hold on. Here, right here. So we played damage type. Yeah. So I added this because it wasn't working. Fix this so we hear the damage. So what was interesting is, we're not actually hearing this, and I don't know why. So let's start by doing let's throw out the delay milliseconds in there, and maybe also the file name. Like that. And, you don't want this. Is that my problem? Oh, no? Yeah, that was my problem. Okay. So now we've got a little bit more information on that. Let's open up a separate window. Separate instance of Chrome. See the die roller up here. Let's refresh it. This is what? I can't hear you? Wait, is that a joke? That's a joke, right?
I think that's a joke. I just checked the stream. You are definitely audible.
Okay, check. I am a little low, though. It looks like my volume's low. I'm trying to get it just right without peaking. Without clipping, I mean. Okay, so here we are. Let's roll some dice again. And meanwhile, when we roll this dice, I think we want to turn off the streams layer of dice. So that dice layer, I'm turning that off, the dice roller on the stream, so we'll only hear it here. And it's not muted, and we've clicked and interacted with it, and we've got the console node up. So let's roll some dice. Let's try this. I'm going to say 12 D6 lightning.
$45 damage.
So here's one of the issues. It thinks the damage type is none.
Right.
So that's one of the things. The other thing that was interesting is we heard it on 2 different places, and that's likely because even though I refreshed it, I turned it off, it's still alive somewhere. And it's still sending, it's still talking to it. So even though I've turned it off, I wonder if I can come in. Yeah, no, I think we're going to send, it's still going to send things to it. Let me,
I felt like I had a bit of an audio illusion in that I thought I heard 2 different numbers.
Wait, say that one more time?
I had this brief moment where I thought I'd heard 2 different numbers, one from the the stream and one from there.
Yeah.
45 and 41.
Yeah, no, we definitely heard that. I heard the same thing.
Okay, I'm not imagining. I'm not losing my mind.
No, you're not.
Not in that sense.
Okay, so the delay looks pretty good. It's 1.5 seconds. That delay is good. Yeah, the main problem is the none here. So we're going to have to figure that out. The damage type that's being passed in is not okay. And how am I getting... Oh, the number is here, the total damage. Play damage commentary here. And this is being called from play announcer commentary. And really, I think we're going to start seeing the problem here in a second. That we've got kind of an architectural problem down here that we're going to need to fix if we want to really get a good announcer commentary on the damage. I think that's what we're looking at. The damage type that's passed in here, let's find that. Here it is right here. It's coming from dice roll data. Dice roll data is, let me just go to its declaration. It's a global inside of, where is it? It's a global inside of the, is this indented? No, it's not. Okay. So this is a global inside of diceroller.ts. So dice roll data is there. We have like this dice roller class is kind of my least exemplary file that I have.
Okay.
It is because it was based on some existing JavaScript code. So we don't really have a great class here. So we've got some global functions in here. And global data structs, at least inside of this file. And one of those is dice roll data. So dice roll data, I think, is initially assigned, I want to say in please roll dice, I think, if I'm recalling correctly. Let's go jump down to there, to please roll dice. The dice roll DTO comes in. There we go. We just do an assignment like this to it, is what we're apparently doing. So that's DTO is what's sent to us. That's dice roll data.
Mm-hmm. That
is sent to us, which includes the damage type right here. That's sent to us from the D&D app up here. So let's go take a look at the D&D app and see why we're not setting that. Now I also I think I should point out that when I do a roll and I specify the damage type, that only really takes care of it takes care of a large percentage of the rolls, but not all of the rolls. There are a small percentage of the rolls that will shoot out 2 different kinds of damage in one roll. The example of that is Miles's Ice Storm, I think. Yeah, you've got 2d8 bludgeoning and 4d6 cold. That's what's happening there. Right, you can see the 2 different kinds of dice. So when we cast that spell, we're not seeing the dice roll. But they did roll. So you're seeing the double up. So even though we're not seeing it, they were rolling here because it was maybe turned off. I don't know, but the dice were on there anyway.
I think you turned it off specifically so we could get Chrome version. In our debug session behind.
Yeah, I'm going to mute that, so we'll have that back on. It looks like we can't get rid of the 3D dice entirely. So at any rate, that's an example. That's an example of it. Test closed. Let's do that. Interesting, test closed didn't work when it was on the other page. So damage type as a global for the roll doesn't make sense. We've got maybe there are other things that do, and I think in order to really fix this, that's what we're going to have to go to. And I was thinking, well, a simple fix would be to go in for these damage rolls I'm doing to go set the damage type. But I'm now thinking that that maybe not the simple solution is the best way on this. Maybe that we should just dive right in, try to figure out what's going on down here below to figure out what the total dice is, the total damage dice.
So just to double check then, for a single roll, you're saying more than one type of damage in these cases, not two rolls that each have separate damage.
Right. So take a look again. Take a look again at Ice Storm. Watch the dice that come out on here. 2 bludgeoning are right here and here, and then roll.
Damage.
Yeah. So that 33 should be, we should really break that down into the totals for each one, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to explore today. So I wanted to say like 24 ice cold damage and, whatever, 23, whatever, 13 bludgeoning, something like that. That's what I want to do. So to do that, we got to total it up. Now we do kind of total it up, but we total it up later on. Let's go look at, what is it? Report roll results. Roll results. The D20 roll value is an array. Nope, that's not going to help us. We need...
Screechrat asks, how do you bring up that symbol search? That's Control-Shift-Q, or is it Enter on the numeric keypad?
Yeah, I'm using Enter on the numeric keypad for me.
The Code Rush features.
Yeah, Control-Shift-Q also works.
Yeah.
Both work. Yeah. Ask us any questions you want, Screechrat, on the Code Rush. Happy to spend time talking about it because we're here for you. All right, so it looks like the roll results don't actually have what we need. We're not actually calculating it. To make matters a little bit more, a little more vexing, I think is a word I would use. Up here in C#, when we come back, you may recall that we wrote code latest damage is a dictionary of damage type ints, and we go into the rolls and we figure it out. Is what we do. We go to the individual rolls, check to see what the damage type is on it, and add it. So this code here, we are essentially going to have to write down below to make this work, to be able to, we're down below meaning down in TypeScript. Also Control-Alt-F for jump to file. There you go. Yep. There you go.
Lots of little things available in Code Rush all over the place.
You can also set up filters for these as well. So you can, if you have a particular filter you like, you can set up a shortcut just for that filter. But I actually don't like the way our filters currently work. We made a feature request for this a while back. The thing I don't like is when you're here, you can tap Control and then you can start making changes. There are like a couple things I don't like about it. One of the things that I don't like is if I change it just to file and I look for something here in the file. Well, now I've changed it to file and I've started typing, but look what's happened. I've typed in CAL because I was going to demonstrate going to calculate latest damage, but my C toggled this option because of that shortcut there, and then my L toggled this one. It looks like the A isn't in there. But what happens is it starts doing this. I have to remember to hit Control to hide the hint, and then I can start typing again. CAL, like that. So part of the problem in the way we implement this, I almost feel like we should talk about this. Yeah, I think I'm going to report it. Let's do it. All right, guys, I want to talk about the way we're implementing jump to symbol here and how we can improve it. One of the things I don't like about this is when I tap the Control key to bring this up, this has still got the caret here indicating it's got focus. That flashing caret should, at the very least, if we're going to keep all our other behavior, go away. While I appreciate the flexibility of doing these toggles here, I Well, I don't know. We'll keep it at that. At the very least, let's get rid of this right here. And yeah, I'm like, I am in conflict about this. I feel like that we're more likely to want to make one change and then start typing. That sort of thing, not a whole bunch of these. So the fact that we can get to these without any Alt key held down is, or any kind of modifier key, means that we cannot type text here. And it would be really nice if I could continue to type text while, this is up. The better solution, instead of hiding this caret, is to change all of these to require an Alt key down to get them. I don't know if that's I think we talked about this before, but change these so it requires an Alt key, but allow me to keep typing. So if I type a letter, like the letter C, it puts the letter C there, and it does not do this here. It doesn't toggle that. That's what I would like. Make these be Alt, I think, instead. So Alt 4, or maybe Control. No, because Control is going to hide the hint. Yeah. Although it's a tap of the Control. Yeah, I don't know. It's like the problem. So that's one of the problems. The second problem, I think I talked about it already. But if we make a change to file and we go look for file, we find something in the file here, whatever that is, like that. We find it. Then the next time we bring it up, we may not realize that there are items that we've filtered. So if I want to go jump somewhere else, like spell state, for example, I don't find it, and it's not clear that we're hiding anything. So we might want to at the very least say, hey, items are filtered, or don't save this result unless I say save it. Yeah, I almost think we need an email thread on how to improve this, because I also want, like, maybe the idea, like, what if, for example, I came in here, like, this would be useful. If I said, okay, let's turn off all types, but then come in and say only, like, no, wait, let's not do that. Let's turn off all members. And so now we've got just a search for types. What would be nice is a link here somewhere to bind a shortcut to this filter. And so if I click that, it brings me up into the shortcuts. And it's built a shortcut for me already. Shortcut appeared on the other monitor. Hold on. Oh, and it disappeared. Oh, this is the bug that was happening before. Alt-Shift-Space, move, mouse. Wait, there we go. There it is. It like disappeared. But anyway, it comes into here, and maybe somewhere in my custom, maybe in my custom folder here, it creates a new shortcut for me. And the command is, whatever the command is, I forget what it is, to go find this. What it is it Smart Nav, Quick Nav? Nav.
That's symbol search, maybe?
I think it's symbol search.
Symbol search, because quick nav is a different thing. That's the navigate Control Alt N is the navigate jump to. I feel like it's got a symbol in it, but
I think it's jump.
Jump to everything or jump to symbol. There you go.
Yeah. So I think it's jump to everything, but I think we can put in parameters here, and we kind of need discoverability on the parameters. So like that, all of this I think can be improved, right? But what would be cool is if it put the filter in right here for me, for whatever that thing is we're going to filter out. Is that right, Rory? Can you do me a search for jump to everything for me in CodeRush, and see if it's, well, you know what? It's probably faster for me to do this. Let's just do it here and see what we get. CodeRush, jump to everything, filter, navigate to.
Is it the everything that's got the params, or is it the symbol one that's got the params?
I don't know. Maybe it's jump to symbol. Let's try it. Here, I think we may be good. Well, maybe not.
Here you go, Mark. Let me paste in the chat window. There is a documentation page. That might be the one you're on there.
No, I clicked it as soon as you put it in. Yeah. So then it would just say what it is. So for example, it would say, so it jumps to symbol, right? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to say jump to symbol. And then parameters, we're going to say classes. Like that. And we're going to say, and then all we have to, and then this has focus. So all we have to do is now specify what the shortcut is, like Control-Alt-Shift-C, like that. And then click OK. And then now when I hit Control-Shift-Alt-C, it looks like that. Let's double check to make sure that's working. I'm going to change the default back to everything and the scope back to solution. Come back, we'll, what? Element not found? Oh, because no members and no access. Got it. All right, there we go. All right. So, also, hey, one other suggestion. Up or down arrow here, I think, should just work. I should be able to move up and down. Enter key should work here to go. In other words, I feel like we're super restricted when this is up. And I think up and down arrow should still work just like this and this when the filter's up. And enter key should work too. So if the filter's up and I hit enter, instead of closing the filter, it takes me to the piece that was selected. So now let's test it. Control-Alt-Shift-C. And now I want to go to, let's go D&D. No, nothing. What's my tip? Why does it file? It's
interesting.
It's clearing everything. So I have to say solution is what it looks like I have to say. Let's go back into the options. This one right here. So it looks like we have to say file. No, sorry, solution. And I think they're comma separated.
Yeah, looks like. Although I don't know if there's a space prefixing the second item, or it might work. But
use the parameter orders listed above. Parameters order listed above. Okay.
So classes solution.
Yeah, Rory, this should be parameter order, not parameters order.
Yeah.
Can you make a note of that, Rory, and
Yep.
And we'll take care of that. So yeah, this should be solution apparently. Classes, comma, solution. And did we see comma separated? I'm sorry, I didn't get an answer to that.
It is comma separated. There does not appear to be any spaces in addition to commas, although I guess it could be trimming.
Looks like they want to throw the word and in here between these. Yeah, except value separated by and.
Okay, so comma separated sets of.
Right, so anyway, it would generate that for me right there once it matches. And then now I can come in here and hit Control-Alt-Shift-C and then type in D&D. Still nothing? Why aren't we? Oh, because D&D Utils isn't a class? I think it is.
We haven't solutioned.
You're right. Why is that?
Do we need to have commas with nothing in between? Is it positionally based? So 2 commas between, 3 maybe? Because the solution it appears to be the last item in that list.
Yeah, you're right. Look at that. Yeah, look at this one.
Ooh.
Comma right there at the front. Okay, so that's it. So it's not only on this order, but got to keep those commas there.
So classes, comma, 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 solution.
I think isn't just 2 commas?
There's 4 options, so there's 3 between those.
3 commas. Yeah, like that, we think. Let's try that. Control-Alt-Shift-C, tab, there we go. And so now if I type in Control-Alt-Shift-C, D&D Utils, still nothing? What's going on?
I want to say we've got no visibility and no anything else. So
is that really
is that affecting it?
Hold on. You're right. It's my access. Yep, access.
There is a value called all visibilities that you can use there.
All right,
rather than having to and all of the individuals.
We'll get there. Yeah, so notice the experience, how hard it is to do, right? But how easy it would be if we just added this feature. So where's my visibilities
the second
go?
last one, so 1 more comma across.
right there.
All visibilities.
All visibility.
Presuming that that's what we're after.
I feel like, look, if I don't specify anything, it should default to all visibilities. Do you agree? I'm about to like really just be like, let's spend like 5 minutes criticizing.
Let's ask a question that is, under what circumstances do you want no visibilities?
Yeah, so this is like, ultimately this is all my fault, right, for not actually going in and trying this part of it, of the UI when we shipped it, so my bad, guys.
It follows on from the concept that, that does work for no members, right? The member filter, if that's left empty, you don't want members because you're looking for types, for example.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily carry into visibility since everything has a visibility of some kind, even if not directly expressed.
Yeah. So now finally I get my Control-Alt-C that finds classes for me. So that's what I can do, but wouldn't it be much better if I can come in here, set my options up, whatever they're going to be, and then right click or click a link to immediately get those options into a new shortcut inside of here, inside my custom. It's built it for me, and all I need to do, and it's maybe even given me this context as well. Why not? That's awesome context. Give me that. And so all I need, it gives me this, it gives me this, it gives me this. It's put in the right folder, the my custom folder, and all I have to do is come in here and specify the shortcut. That would be the killer way to do that. All right, now let's disable because I don't need it for now. But anyway, that's kind of a demo of that. That's kind of what we've talked about this before. I think the UI can be improved. There's definitely room for improving that, and that's kind of your spec for it, kids. Let's get a I'm going to call that an issue. We're going to say the jump to symbol UI needs improving. And let's throw that out there. How you doing, Mr. Smoofy? Glad to have you with us.
Yes, welcome, Mr. Smoofy.
So I was back here at some point in time. We were looking at the individual roles, and this is it right here. It was this block of code here. Individual roles, I think, are actually built down below, but we don't have an analysis on the data. And that's kind of where what I want to do. I want to go through the individual roles, see if it's got a damage associated with it, and add it is what I want to do to that damage type dictionary. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to have a dictionary. And as I recall, dictionaries in JavaScript land are not there. There's something else we have to do to work around that. I forget exactly what that is.
Is that a map?
Say that again, Rory.
I wonder if that's a map. I've seen basically that all JavaScript objects are technically dictionaries. So that is to say, you can access them using the square brackets and just name something and just add it in there. And you effectively, if you're setting effectively, is it a member on an object, so to speak, with that name? And thus, if you set it again, it will overwrite the original version. So that's like a dictionary.
Okay.
But I believe the more proper way to do it is using a map, and I haven't used the map yet myself.
Right. Well,
normally, is it Coding Gorilla would jump in here and tell us how, or
that's true. Let's do that. Let's figure that out. We're gonna.
That's right. I'll just off all the responsibility onto the chat room.
No worries. That's totally okay. I'm looking at the size of this method here. This is where we calculate, we analyze all the die and look at it, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, maybe we should figure this out here.
My simplistic dictionary approach is you declare an object as literally an object, so double curly brace, I think, and then just start accessing the things.
Okay, we can do that. C# dictionary. Yeah, it's easy. Says Coding Gorilla. All right, good. My question in my head now is, do I refactor this first? And it's really kind of interesting. So if you look at this, just these lines of code right here, right? I'm basically going through all the die. I'm typecasting each element as an IDie interface. I reset that its score has been tallied, and then I check to see if the roll type counts as damage. And if it does, I say max damage plus equals to die values. What's interesting about this is I'm doing two things in the loop for essentially for efficiency. One is I'm clearing it, getting it ready to go. And two is I'm calculating max damage. That's what's happening here. If I were to extract this block of code out, it would be a function that did two different things, right? We'd have to call it, like, if we're going to name it appropriately, we'd have to call it, initialize for analysis and get max damage. And so this is an example where it really probably makes sense to break this into two different functions, two different for loops that do two completely different things. Because I don't know, that's what I'm thinking. That's the way to kind of solve this. And I think I might do that. I think let's start with that. Let me do this. Let me make a copy of this, and then we're going to extract this function, and we're going to call this get max damage. Why am I passing it in? Oh, because it saw the initialization up here as 0. I'm just going to do this. Put a let here. Put a tn here to give it a number. That's the template for getting a number here. Oh, by the way, we're getting starting to deliver. We've got a new version of a new extension for VS Code coming out that has CodeRush templates in it, which was my requirement for. Why did I put the word "this" on in front of it here? What happened? Is it? Oh, it's a global function. Okay. All right, global function. So I need kind of two of these here. I need a I need to initialize.
Initialize with a little bit of pudding.
For scoring. Hey, pudding.
Just a little bit.
All right, so initialize for scoring is there. Get max damage is here. Now we've got two different for loops here. So I've got that, and then now I want to do initialize for scoring. Call that as well. Do a let right here. So I'm just refactoring right now. That's all we're doing right now, Pudding. Doing a little refactoring. How you doing? Glad to have you with us. So there's my get max damage. What's happening here? Oh, because they're above. Well, is that my fault that your extract method puts it above? I don't think so. Or below, rather. It puts it below. Yeah, okay, there we go. I just woke up, so feeling sleepy as usual. All right. Looks like that can be a constant. Confirm my bug with CodeRush. Good. That's good to hear. So cool, you reported a bug yesterday and got it confirmed as a bug. That's awesome, Smoofy. I love it.
Thank you for that. That it's going to contribute and make the product better for everybody.
Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to do, right? Trying to make things better. Great service. All right, cool. That's what I like to hear. That makes me, less, parental with the devs. Where I'm like, admonishment is the approach. When we were just looking at the jump to symbol, the UI there, it kind of looks okay, but in practice it needs some work. And so I want to clean that up. All right, so now we have initialized for scoring. This is equal to max damage. We've got just some defensive code right up here. We're marking that we've tallied it. We're getting the top number. Okay, here is a candidate for a refactoring. This area right in here. So I'm going to use selection increase to get all the siblings. And that should get me from here to there. So that's my new refactoring. I don't have any returns in there, so that should come out cleanly. Has multiplayer dice. And so inside of here, we're getting player roles, and we're adding to the multiplayer summary. So I'm going to call this build multiplayer summary. What's my scale adjust here? Add die text after. So there's actually two things going on. We're building a multiplayer summary, and we're also doing this add die text after. I think I might be able to take it to here instead. And there's our that's a little cleaner. The modifier is calculated here. Is the modifier used outside? I don't see it. So that's probably good. That feels like it might be clean. By the way, I built this really cool feature in Coderist Classic that does not
just remembering that.
Does not exist anymore. Yeah, isn't that suck?
I'm going to go with the curved arrows.
Yeah. Doesn't it suck when you innovate something amazing and then the host IDE makes a move and then blocks it and you just have to kill the feature? But I had this really cool feature where I could get to this state, like I think I'm about to extract it, and hit a button, and then it would show me with arrows going in and out where the data flow is. So what are my input parameters? What are my output parameters? What are my reference parameters? There would be color-coded arrows, and I could also see by, and follow the flow. So I could see it would point right into the variable where it was first referenced, as in the in parameter. And I think from the last assignment, it would send that out, and you'd see the line coming out. So you could see if it was clean or not. If you had a bunch of arrows all over the place, that meant a bunch of parameters. It was a really cool preview feature before extracting method. It was beautiful, and we had to kill it. And I hated that. That was a sad moment. But anyway, let's do oh, look, it's not giving me extract method. It just shows declare local down there. Is that because of the break? It doesn't know how to deal with the break? Let's...
That would make sense, yeah. Well, I say that. It should just break out of the for, right?
Yeah, that's what you and I say, but I want to see what happens when I... There you go. It was the break. So I commented that out. Let's remember to fix it. Yeah, I don't get that. I think it's a cheap... Yeah, I'm disappointed with the implementation here. It's kind of an easy way out is what it looks like to me. And there could be complexities of the JavaScript language that I don't understand that could justify this. But it seems like there are times when extract method or extract function is not available when there's a break inside of a for loop, for example. Something like that. All right, what's our parameters here? Yeah, it's good. It's only 2 parameters going in there. Top number. And let's just extract it. So we're going to say build multiplayer summary, like that. And that top number, we may not even need, well, we're using it in 2 places. Is it a couple places actually? We're using it in a couple places. Because we could get that same top number by calling this a second time. I don't know, I guess for efficiency's sake, because we're passing in the die, I think for efficiency's sake, I'm just going to do that. Build this. This has got to come up above. That's because extract method puts it below by default. Okay, there we go. All right, back over here. And then this right here adds the die text. So now I'm going to extract that. Call it attach die label. Okay, so much better. I think I'm going to throw this at the end of build multiplayer summary there. Okay. Individual roles, push, this is when we add. So build multiplayer summary, I want to rename this to 4. So that kind of, as I read this, it's build multiplayer summary for the die. Or add die to multiplayer summary. Maybe I'll change it to that. To multiplayer summary. Okay, cool. Attach style label is there. Individual roles, we're pushing the individual roles in. Oh, there's this continue. This continue is here, so it's more error checking. This is some initialization. This feels like an inner function. Total scores. Yeah, because these are local pieces here. So let's extract to an inner function. And we're going to call these yeah, initialize locals, local arrays. I like to put my local stuff higher, earlier. And it probably does too. Like after these, that's kind of where I want to put those. Okay. And then this is an internal function as well, I think, all the way to there, which is going to be tally totals or something like that. Okay, so now we've got our for loop is a little more manageable. Still seems long to me. Oops. I'm going to put this down below. I want to put this up above.
Took me a little while to find it. That's not a great quality image either, unfortunately. But this was the old CodeRush class. You can control wheel mouse and zoom in there, I think.
Yeah.
There are not many images available when trawling the internet for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really not. Here we go. Oh, that's a small one. Is that the same one you got?
I think that's on a slightly less official site, should we say?
Oh, really?
Maybe was not so happy. This one at least was a Microsoft Co.il site. Draw Helper, I think, actually.
Here you go.
Long-time friend of the company.
There's one right there. It's not bad. There you go.
That's a little clearer,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it shows you what's going on with it. So yeah, so you could see the input parameters are in blue. The return of the function is in green. So if you had only one return value, you could see that.
And if you do nothing more than count the arrows,
Yeah.
even on an instinctive level, you
Yeah.
know how complicated this extraction will result in. It's like the pictures, the embedded pictures we now have. It's just the 1,000 words being painted so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The hairier it looks, if you imagine each one of these as a strand of hair, the hairier it looks, the hairier it is. So, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that was some beautiful design. All right, still refactoring here, kind of going through here. What do we got here? This is, yeah, there's modified total role for testing purposes. That's separate from these. These are setting the various fields, which I could extract, but it would still be an inner function inside of here. This for loop, did we decide? So I've got this bit of this piece right here. Yeah, I'm kind of torn between pulling it out or same thing with this. I'm just not sure if there's a value in pulling it out. I recognize the method is long, but there's some stuff that's going on and that needs to do. At any rate, here we're creating the roll results. We get our individual rolls here. This is where we have the damage type. So this is where we want to kind of start tallying the total damages. That's what I want to do. So we were talking about this before. That's in our roll results. So let's go to roll results and define it now. So it's just an array. Is that right? What we're doing now? So is that what we decided, Rory? Do you remember?
Looks like.
So we're going to call this the damage summary, like this, and it's just an array. Is that what we agree upon?
I think so. I can't remember, to be honest.
Maybe we don't actually have feedback yet. I'm scrolling back up. Coding Gorilla was saying works. Hold on.
We were deciding we could have a dictionary. Now, if it's a dictionary, the thing I am aware of, which is probably the less suboptimal kind of solution, is that it is effectively a JavaScript object, i.e., I guess you can just say object. How did we do this? We have so what you can do is you can define an interface, and this is possibly what map is designed to replace. You can define an interface that says thing that is accessible via square brackets.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, look at that.
And apply it to almost anything. Yeah,
you're doing the same thing. It looks like there's no type defined for it, but it's got an initial value, which is an instantiated value, which is here's the object. So we're just going to do essentially, we're going to do something that looks like this, I think. Well, we're going to key by the string of the enum. Should we do that?
So
yeah, it looks like we can just do this. Add new or update property. It's just like that. So that's
I think
what we're
it
going
has
to do.
to be an anyable thing at that point.
Yeah.
So as long as you have defined as any, then you're allowed to do that.
So I'll say it's any.
I've
Like
seen
that.
code that looks a little like that, which is a slightly more restrictive. So you can, if you've got that interface, you can define a thing as that, and it's kind of a, I don't know. This would be the midway to a map. I'm certain somebody will come along and say, yeah, but you should be using a map. And I agree, I'm just not familiar with it. So this effectively says we're a dictionary of T, and therefore now we can add things that are T's, either by index or by key. Give it a try anyway. May not be the most perfect way of doing it. There you go, coding really. Yeah, we should use a map, unless we're serializing a dictionary from C#, which
Well,
in fairness, yeah.
let's figure out a map then. Let's type in JavaScript map.
I'm going to go with we need a particular version of TypeScript for it, but I think you've upgraded past that point now, and we should all be good.
I should do TS map. That's what I should do, right? Uh-oh.
Well, it's a JavaScript feature which TypeScript became aware of when its version went high enough, and thus we can strongly type to it. That's a mapping function. That's not the same thing.
Okay. You want to give me a link?
There we go. If you look at, there's a TypeScript map structure. Is it map of T? Let me see that TypeScript. See if that's correct. ES map in TypeScript 2015. That's quite early and not literal.
I have a feeling Coding Gorilla is typing furiously.
I suspect exactly that. I'm suddenly not finding. Oh, there we go. Map JavaScript.
Look at this.
Yeah, we still need TypeScript though. What have you got?
Map is equal to new map. Let's see if I can create a new map here.
Is it just that simple? Map. There you go.
Look at that. Oh, but do I have to say what the type is? Okay.
Which is good, right?
Yeah, I guess. So it's going to be string, comma, number.
Right, so that's the advantage of what you've got there. What I was suggesting before forced you to use a string as the key.
I'm going to use the damage type as the key. Now I'm getting excited.
This is a better way.
Okay, great. Thank you, Coding Gorilla.
So you can eliminate that dictionary definition you've got on line 740. We won't be needing that.
That's right. That dictionary definition can go to heck.
Very, very temporary.
And that's what it can do. Okay, cool. So now we've got a damage summary here at the end. I love that. Now, how does Jason handle the serialization of my damage summary? That's going to be interesting, right? Because I've got roll results here, and I'm pretty sure we're sending this back. And the way I can just quickly verify that is coming here, jump to symbol. Solution, everything is being, oh, no members, but we should still be able to find it. Thought roll results were sent back. What's going on with my roll results?
So Coding Gorilla says, yeah, that won't work if it's coming from JSON. Maybe we'll need to get the data and then populate it ourselves.
Well, we're going to build it. Oh, you know what? We can just ignore it. We don't have to send it back up. I thought we sent it back up, but it's looking like maybe not. Report roll results. Where is that? I want to see where we're sending it back. I'm totally forgetting where that is. I totally recognize the code, though. It's got a bunch of strings stacked up. I feel like I can almost find it if I page up and page down through here. That was maybe folly. Nope, not there. It's got a whole bunch of stacked strings, so it's a very pinkish red page. That's it, right there. Individual roles. Yeah, we're not actually sending that other piece out, is what it looks like to me. So, okay, so we don't need the roll results. That's just to hold on to the data. So that's actually kind of ideal. We don't need to worry about JSON there. We just need to make sure we're passing in the roll results there, the map. So, it looks like we're in the right place. We want to create that map. So we'll say const damage map is equal to, or damage map is of type map of damage type to a number. And we're going to set that equal to, what do we set it equal to? That is my initialized value. Is that true? Maybe I don't initialize it to anything. No, it's a new, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Wonder why it's not suggesting that, though.
New map angle brackets says Coding Gorilla.
Oh.
So possibly you don't need the types.
What's this complaint? Just because it's declared and now never used. No, it looks like it does need the type. Okay, so now we've got the damage map in there. Now we can use it here. If die counts as damage, then what I want to do is I want to say damage map of the damage type. Where am I going to find that? No, damage type from damage modifier. This. Where's my damage type? Let's go see. I think it's in the die. So die dot. Do I have that damage type? So I think I need to do this. If we've got something for damage type, then damage map of damage type. And I want to say it's a plus equals what already exists. So I think I need to do this. I need to say, hey, if it has a non-zero value, then we're going to say plus equals top number. Like that. Oops, I don't want to delete that. And otherwise, we're going to say it is equal to. I think I have to do code like that because I'm accumulating a total on it. And if we haven't added it yet, this is going to be undefined, I think. Right? And so, well, yeah. So even if it's 0, this is going to come in here and return false because that's kind of falsy. Right? So we're going to come down and just do an assignment straight on. If it's 0 or undefined, we're going to come down here. But
yeah,
if it's non-zero, we're going to plus equals. Okay, does that make sense what I'm doing? I think I have to do that.
I think that's valid. As long as that if statement evaluates correctly under those three, because you've got, as you say, undefined, and then you've got the 0 value, which, or sorry, a numeric, Is there any other combination? Do we get a null versus undefined? We shouldn't do, should we? Because damage map itself will be defined.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
I think it's not bad. So there's our damage map that's built there. And we still have the other code right here where we're saying total damage is equal to that. So now we've got those. There's also the +8 or the plus bonus modifier that's added to the total damage. Right? And there actually can be modifiers for each of the damage types, I believe. Is that true? No, the modifier is just for the attack. So sometimes you can have a single modifier that applies to the total sum of the damages. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe when the cases when we got like, we were talking about Ice Storm before.
Hmm.
Let me just roll that. I think the index is going to work like that. You think I got to use set?
21. Damage.
So yeah, it looks like there's no added bonus here in this case. So you don't think the indexer is going to work like this? It's called a set then? Like that, which means we're going to call get right here. Does this make you more comfortable, Coding Gorilla? I think it probably does. And then this one becomes, dot set. Yeah, Coding Gorilla says yes. Do it this way. All right, so now that's going to get us build up our damage map, which means we can now pass it down here as the last parameter to that. Now we built our damage map. The roll results should be good. That means that get roll results, where that's called, it's called in two places. One is, I don't care what's happening here. There's some other thing that's taking place here that's used below. I was looking at this about a week ago, and I was like, "What? Why am I doing this twice?" And it was needed to set globals for code below. I know it's not great. But I was looking at it from the standpoint, how do I get out of that? And I didn't have a great way to get out of that without repeating, code in multiple places. I just didn't find a good solution to get out of the fact that I needed this call here. The time that we're really using it though is here in this call to report roll results. So now we've got our roll results coming in here, and somewhere in here we are going to show total damage. Here it is, play announcer commentary. Here's where we want to really throw that in at that point. So I'm going to say, let's now also throw in the dice roll data. Is it dice roll data? No, it's roll results. Are we passing that in here? Let's go, I'm going to go here, selection increase, just to get to the top. Yeah, roll results. I can see at the very top of the screen behind the coins there, it's passed in as the top parameter there, so I should be able to find it. Roll results dot damage summary. Okay. Let's go get that declaration. So I can now come back and go into play announcer commentary, add that to the end here. Like that, I guess. And now I've got my damage summary in here. And now when I get to damage type, play damage commentary, here's where I want to change this up to the damage. I want to go into my damage summary. Do I have a keys in here? Can I do a for each on those? For each key, is that what's this going to say? Is this saying no? For each does not exist. All right, is that telling me I got to do a for loop on it?
Don't know about iteration over those.
Looks like it's taken length. It likes length. So we'll say keys of I in here. And that is this key going to be of type damage type? Wouldn't that be awesome?
You can for each over the map directly. You don't need to for each the key, if you feel that way.
For each item?
Well, so according to what I'm reading, the value coming in first and the key coming in second. So you're not actually iterating the item, but a conflation of the two pieces of it.
You said value and key?
Yeah. Actually, there is a third available if you need it, which is map. I guess that is the item, or maybe the map that it's come from, perhaps. So at the moment, you just have a value and key. So if you want to use either of those, that's good. Yeah, so Coding Gorilla confirms the third one is map, if it's required.
Hold on, I want to see if I got if this has got the key right, the type, if it's suggesting damage type. It is. Sweet. Okay, I like that. All right, so key equals whatever. All right, cool. So we've got key in here. Then I'm going to do damage summary. I guess I got to go back to get on this. Get of key. Oh no, wait, I've got the value, don't I? Let's try this. Total damage is going to change. I'm going to change this to value. I'm going to change damage type to key. And now the problem is it's going to try and play all these at once. If we get a duplicate, but let's at least get this working for the main roles and see if that works. So let's go in. We're going to refresh the main app here, refresh the data, and let's go into my Stream Deck. I'll show you what the Stream Deck looks like. There it is right there. So I'm going into my dice down here, clicking on that button. Then I'm going to type in 8 D10, and I'm going to click fire. And let's see if we can get it to say fire damage. Uh-oh.
Wow.
That's remarkable. And
that's
really
some frozen fire.
We totally something up. All right, let's clear that a second. Let me turn that off. Let's go over here, refresh, and see where our error is. Let's try again. 12 D10 fire. Must be in report roll results. Something's wrong there. Is it an infinite loop? Nope, it's not.
Read property for each.
It may be an infinite loop, actually.
Of null. Right, so the dictionary itself can be a null, and the default is null if we're not passing it in, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, okay, dice roller 1632. Right there. Let's do this. So interesting. So I'm going to do that, but what's interesting is why is it null? I don't get that.
Are we simply not passing it?
No, I added that code
as a parameter.
I feel pretty confident I added that as a parameter. Let's look at it. There it is right there, the last parameter. And, oh, what's this? Damage type? Hold on. It's not of type damage type. Oh, it's this. It's in the wrong place, it looks like. Okay. Wait, what's going on here? This is the damage type. This is now max damage. Did we lose max damage? Nope. Wait, total damage is there. This should be max damage.
Did we add the damage type and the roll result stuff after the optionally not there max damage?
I don't know what's going on with it, to be honest. I don't know how we got rid of that, but that's weird. Let's refresh and now send it out one more time. 5 D12s force. Did I mute the site? Nope, we didn't hear anything. Okay, let's see what's coming in. Let's send some.
Diagnostic time.
Yep.
You know where I see that happening is if we do have a dictionary, but for some reason we haven't managed to populate it with any values, therefore you for each through essentially nothing and come out the other side.
Yeah. Well, we're about to get a pretty clear picture of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Here's where we create the new one. We put it in there. We throw our damage map right inside of there. I don't think there's any other constructor for that. There's not. There's only this many references. Get roll results, this function. Here's the end of that function right there. You can see we're in that function here. And then it's passed in here to report roll results. So that thing should exist. It should work. It should have something in it. All right, we'll start with those simple console logs and move from there. Damage summary is good. All right, so we're at least there, getting closer. Okay, so we know we're here. I guess we got to come down here. Console log. I think I want a template called console log with the backtick on it. Is what I want it to do. And I want it to get me to here.
Yeah.
Is what I want it to do. Call it CL backtick, and what's the comma? The comma does nothing at all. Yeah, I guess I'm okay with that. I could also do this. Create a duplicate, give it the same name, but can I say that this one's expanded with a secondary key? Look at this. This is related. Yeah, see the clipping right here?
Yeah.
Let me take care of that a second. Kids, there's clipping right here. There looks to be space to draw it, but I don't see it. I think it's related to a Visual Studio setting I have, which is Tools, Options, Font, and Colors. I think it's related to, is it this one? Font? Is that right? No, it's when we change to the one that does the menus. Environment. All right, so I think it's this. Let's do that for a second. Go up to the CodeRush options dialog. See if things get really bad. So you can see it gets a little worse here, right? That's what's going on. And I think it has to do with that font setting inside of Visual Studio. So that's kind of the bug. That's how you reproduce it. If we come in and change this to, like, say 8, prepared to have your minds blown with that 8-point font. And now we go back into options. Now we can see it. It looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, see what's going on? That's what we want to fix. So let me go back and make that more readable. And I think the 12 is what we had. It was pretty decent. All right. Back up here into options. And I was working through this, and I wanted to see if I could do secondary key for one and primary for the other. I cannot individually change these. Because I was thinking, I could use the tab key to get the alternate expansion. How sweet would that be on the CL? But that's not going to work. So we'll delete one of these. And so I've got the CL backtick here and the regular CL that does this. I'm almost thinking, like, what about just changing it so it was always the backtick? Because why do I care about ever doing it?
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? I think I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to, whoops, not that one. I'm going to delete this one we just added. And then I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to change just the expansion of this. So it goes to the backtick instead.
There's one maybe reason why not. Do you have any templates that check a context of what kind of string you're in and therefore expand into, let's say, the dollar curlies?
No.
Which you wouldn't want to happen in a normal string. And
I
if
don't.
you never have normal strings, then yeah.
But let's see if we make that work too. Because I actually would like to make it so that when I hit Control backtick, that it gives me those curly braces. Let's look at this here a second. What is this? Name value, name in quotes plus value. First quote is missing. Oh, okay, that's for the CLOO. That's for the OO part of the piece that can build these pieces up here, right, for what I want to send out. But what I want to do is I want to create one other system template in here that I'm going to give it a long name that I'll never actually type in, called I guess I could just do this like that for its name.
Okay.
So I'll do that for its name. Kind of a weird name, I know. I think I'm going to be okay. It's not all of these are characters I think I can include in templates, but I think it should be okay anyway. So that'll be the name of it. The expansion is going to be this. Put the caret right there. That's the expansion. And then what I want to do is I want to go to my shortcuts page, which is over here in IDE, shortcuts. And now I want to go into my custom and create a new shortcut. And my shortcut is going to be Control plus the backtick. And the command is going to be, I think I've got expand. Template expand. There it is. Template expand. And then I'm going to pass in that name.
Yep.
And let's see what that does for us. So now if I type in CL like this, and now I type in Control backtick, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever I want it to do. So that's like much easier. And the only thing I might want to do though, is I want to make it so that I can get outside of that easily. So I don't have to hit the arrow keys. So what I think I want to do is I want to make this a field. So I'm just going to click that there to make that a field, and then I'm going to do this right here so my final target comes at the end. I think that's going to work. And so now if I type in CL here, and then I want to, like, let's say start with that, I'm going to hit Control plus the backtick, and then I'm going to say whatever that is. I'll say damage amount, like that, and then when I hit Enter, I get outside of that. So here we can do it like, we'll do it like this. I'm going to copy damage type to the clipboard. I'll put a comma here, paste. So I'm just doing the string part, and now I'm going to hit Control back, paste, Enter, and now I'm at the outside of it, right? See what's happening?
Yep.
So I can do another comma, do whatever I want there. So now it's much faster to write this kind of code.
Really is.
Because before it was just a pain in the butt to do all of these shifted pieces. So that's kind of a demonstration of how CodeRush is kind of be helpful. Since this is so helpful, Rory, we need to incorporate this into the main app, the app. I need.
Yep. Well, you're still in a CodeRush issue right now.
Am I really?
So
I haven't closed
devs
it.
are still watching, I think.
Jesus. Is this which issue is this? Oh, this is the more recent one. This is not. I was thinking, wait, this is an old one from like 4 hours ago?
No. This is a relatively recent thing.
Okay, I'm still in the
You were
issue.
talking about the presentation of text in the lower left of this screen.
Yes, that's what I was doing. Thanks. Right, that's it.
And then we kind of found a squirrel and went off.
So yeah, we found a squirrel. So basically now we got a feature out of it. So here comes Jetsam flying in, so the devs can say hi to Jetsam. There he is. Just trying to get out of my. Get off the screen, Jetsam.
Devs pay no attention to the video graphics that we don't ever spend our time working on.
Yeah,
It's all hard work.
Notice Jetsam knows exactly what he's doing. The devs need to see it then. Yeah, so that's so here's what we need to do. What I just did needs to be a feature. So we're going to do this, and I think it's fair to say that shortcut is Control backtick.
It's totally a coding show. There's nothing going on here.
Did someone say squirrel? It says retro CRT. Bam!
Jetsam says he was going to start the party.
Don't start the party. We're trying to get the don't start it. Don't type that in. Devs are going to be like, what's going on? I know. They're like, I thought you did a coding show, Mark.
It's okay. The devs have met Mark before. They have a vague idea.
Awesome! Coding Gorilla. All right, so anyway, that's a feature I want to do. Let's close this up. So I guess I got to send out my debugging. I got to export this. My debugging piece. Since I'm here, let's export the folder right now. JavaScript debugging. Yeah, replace it. Let's do one more. Export the folder. I just want to export the templates. I want to just open this in a new window so I've got it nearby and I can attach it to the file. Attach that file. So that would be the new feature, and then also the corresponding shortcut with it. I'm not sure about shipping that shortcut. Is this piece right here? I'm not sure how safe it is. In other words, is this a common binding or not? We'll have to do research on it, but it feels like, well, we add some context to it in an interpolated string, then we could ship this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have interpolated string, but I think we have in string. We have in string as the context. So
I presume that an interpolated string wouldn't be a huge stretch from in string, i.e. that similar code could be written to provide that new context.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. So we might want to add an interpolated string. So let's do that. All right, so there's...
Sorry, devs, adding more work to the workload there.
Yeah, so we've got an issue, which is cropped UI on options, dialog, plus new or template change plus template feature. I don't know, new template and shortcut to ship. Okay, Roy, thanks so much. 20 minutes worth of other stuff. Enjoy.
Yeah.
No. Is Roy going? What do you mean is Roy going?
Uh,
Is he leaving the show? Forever?
That's it. Forever gone, done, dusted.
I don't think he is. I just said thanks to him. It's okay to say thank you to people sometimes. Karen Mangicotti. That's Karen over there talking to me from the other side of the room. She's like, is Rory leaving?
As everyone is somehow predicting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rory,
wait,
you just hit party and it didn't play.
I did and it didn't. So I don't know.
Whoa, it just started playing. How did it do it?
Magic.
Rory is going, Karen. That's pretty good. By the way, I've taught Fred from some dance lessons. Isn't that right, Fred? Yeah. So like this one move right here. Can you do that move, Fred? Good. That's good. You look enthusiastic, Fred. Good. Good job. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.
Will do, man. That'll be Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday.
We're at that point of the week.
No,
so,
and I just want to say thanks so much. You know, a couple times you made it. You kept me from getting lost in my own, squirrel farm up here. And I appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah.
I will see you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday. Smoothie says take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so now we've got our console log out here. Let's go back out and refresh, see what we can find in the data. What will the data tell us? We're going to refresh. I'm going to send out like 5 D6s. Let's make it radiant damage. Well, okay, it got radiant. It actually got to the right spot. Why is damage amount 2 here though? Doesn't quite make sense. The damage 2 didn't make sense to me. Let's try rolling it again. Let's do 4 D6s on fire. I got a 1, 4, and a 4, and a 5. Damage amount is 4. Damage type is 8. It's like we're not actually totaling the damage is what it looks like to me. Also, I don't understand why we're not hearing the sound. Play file announcer damage fire of 3. Oh wait, are we muted? That might affect it. Maybe we're actually hearing it. Let's try again. 4d10 psychic.
Four. Psychic damage.
Okay. So the sound file is playing. The totals are not accumulating. Damage amount is 4. Why is that? Rory shall be missed. He shall. Quality show is so good when he's here. I want to become so famous, I really hope nobody deletes them. Oh, again, the moderators. Oh, man. They're always deleting my chances of becoming famous. All right, one day I'll become famous. All right, so here we go. Damage map. This looks good. Oh, wait. There's my problem. I think maybe what I need to do here is let's create a new number here. Like that. That's, I think, my fix to it. Let's see if that refreshes and works. Codephobia is raiding with a party of 12. Codephobia, thanks for that raid. Kids, you know what we do in a raid, right? Some killer dance moves you can only get on this show, kids. Only at the Mark Miller School of Dancing. Welcome, kids. Here comes Sex Positive. Sex Positive saying welcome to Codephobia as well. Everybody, watch out for Sex Positive. Sex Positive will totally entrance you, captivate you. Data Attitude is out there. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Dota Attitude. Let me know which one you prefer. Welcome, kids. We are in the middle of doing some TypeScript. We're working with sound and dice rolls, things like that. I think we may have just fixed a bug. We're about to do a check, see if we fixed it. I'm on my Stream Deck. I'm just going to punch in some numbers on this Stream Deck here. We're going to roll out, like, say, I don't know, 15 D8s. And choose a damage. Let's do, I don't know, cold. And see what happens. There's my cold damage. This is for Dungeons and Dragons game. It's a live stream. Data 2 is good. All right. I think I got it. Like Data 2 or okay. Do you still produce CodeRush, that extension? You bet. That's why we're here. We're actually working with it, and if you want a free copy of it, you can get it. Smoothie just gave you a link out there to the show that the live stream out there, Dragon Humpers, that all the code that we're working on exists in. I didn't hear any sound on that though. What do we got? The damage amount looks right though. 58. Let's try it again. Let's see if I missed something in there. Let's throw out 5 D10s, fire. I'm listening for the total.
17.
And then fire damage.
Fire damage.
All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay. Good. Now we have to, there's a problem now. The problem is that, well, I don't know. There's a little bit of a problem in the delay between the two. One of the things we like to do on the show is get things really perfect. And one of the things we try to approximate is what would it be like if a human were doing it. And we do that with a lot of UI on the show. And so, you know, one of the things I'm noticing is that delay between the time the total is given. We'll do it again. Throw out some poison damage. The delay's a little long.
33. Poison damage.
Yeah, it's a little long. Let's see what we're doing in the code. Let's look at that first. Does it have a refactoring tool for JavaScript? No, it does not. No, there's really no refactorings for JavaScript that I can really report on. I think let's take a look at the catalog here. Yeah, so there's no code actions in here. Nothing for JavaScript is the current state of things. So no refactorings in there for JavaScript. For refactoring tools in VS Code and was unhappy with the current extensions. What refactorings do you have? So we've got C#, VB, and XAML refactorings are the ones that we're currently shipping inside this version of CodeRush, the latest version of CodeRush. Total list of refactorings, you can kind of get them. You can get to them. I guess I can give you a kind of a browser overview of it. So they're in the code actions catalog. This is kind of a combination of refactorings and what we call code providers. So refactoring changes code, but does not change behavior, and that's what a refactoring does, and a code provider may change behavior. No extract method, no extract to class either. We don't have really extract to class. We used to in an older version of CodeRush, but got rid of it as we moved over to the new engine in Roslyn. Although extract to class is on our list of something we expect to do in the near term. So like, in the next 6 months, it's likely to come out. Extract variable, that's introduce new local. So if you're working in C#, there's a lot of powerful stuff that's available in C#. Yeah. So if you're in C#, like for example, one of the things that we have that's very cool. Let me switch over to C# and you can see what kind of some of the powerful things are that I like to use. In C#, let's just look at this expression right here. So we have, one of the things I can do is I can just type in an expression on a line like this, and I can hit a key in CodeRush, and it can declare a local for that expression for me immediately, figure out the right type, right? So that's like a common thing I use all the time. So I'll just come in here and I'll type in whatever it is. I'll use IntelliSense to grab some sort of data, that I want here, something along these lines, and then I might just hit the key, and then, oh, there it is. It's a char, and it'll just figure out and tell me what that type is. So that's kind of very powerful, very cool to be able to do that as well. Like damage again, hit the key, and there it is. It tells me it's an int. And it's very quick to declare those kinds of pieces. I can also come in here and say, let's grab this, and now I can use in this. What happens is we're combining our menu items with Visual Studio. So we're in Visual Studio. Our CodeRush menu items have icons next to them. So these are both refactorings, and these are code providers, which can actually change the code around. They're kind of like wizard tools like that. Introduce locals Visual Studios, I can tell because it has no icon. So I can use Visual Studios to say, let's go ahead and introduce a local for this. So there's Visual Studio doing that. But then now I can come in here and I can use, is it CodeRushes or Visual Studios now? It's CodeRushes. CodeRush has inline temp. So I can come in there and inline the temp and bring it back as an example. Looking at stuff to make my coding faster, mostly into refactoring to pull out code to test it, but I've been using the Vim key bindings for quick selection at the moment. Happy with those as well. Okay, that's all super cool. There are actually a lot of things in CodeRush for writing code faster. I haven't done a demo of that, so I think I may show some of that right now. And if you have questions on anything, I can slow down and let me know. But I'll give you kind of a quick overview. So one of the features that's super powerful in CodeRush is the templating engine. So if I want to create a new method, I just hit the letter M in the space bar, and it gives me that method like that. If I want to create a new property, I could just hit the letter P, and I think that'll give me a property as well. The default type is an object, which is not necessarily that useful, but I might want to make it a string, so I can type in P and then S for string, and now I've got a property of type string, like that. I can type in the name, whatever it's going to be, and then it gives me all the other pieces. Let me undo this because I realized it is generating the field next to my other fields, so in another location. I just want to make sure I'm not just deleting these, and I'm not giving myself extra fields in this demo. So I'm going to make sure I undo instead of deleting. I can also create an auto-implemented property of type string. So A for auto-implemented, S for string, like this. I can make it a double, so AD would give me that. I can make it a decimal, so ADE would give me that. Similarly, I can make a function that returns a decimal, MDE, like this. I can also add my own types into the system. So I can right click on damage type here, say use type in templates, and I can type in like maybe a DT. Oh, it's already being used. Let's maybe say DG, and there's my damage, DGT, DG, DGT. So that's my damage type. And then I'll just click on add right here. And now if I want to create a method that returns a damage type, I can type in DGT like there, MDGT. and now it'll give me this. If I want a variable of type damage type, I can do the same thing, DGT, like that variable damage type. And so what I can do is very quickly over here, if I want to put a string in after, I can type in VS like this. Notice there's no comma. It'll give me a variable of type string. So we're talking about a very much more efficient way of writing code through the template. So that's one of the things you can do. Those same templates exist for declaring types, for declaring methods and members, and also for declaring variables. So the same template, like a VS here, might expand differently down over here. If I type in VS here, it adds the comma if it needs it, right? Or if I type it here, for example, VS, it adds the comma at the end this time. You know, that sort of thing. I also have the ability, let's do this. Let's call this like P1 right here, or param1, like that. Let's get rid of this. Check this out. I can also do this, select from here to here, or actually even select here, and just hit Shift-Enter, and CodeRush will duplicate it. I can change that to a 2. Let's do it again. CodeRush will now see the pattern and implement it for me. So I can very quickly come in here and duplicate selections or parts of the lines, that sort of thing. If I duplicate this, it comes in and says, well, do you want to change that? No, but maybe I want to change this to, like, say, you know, maybe this is going to be param2 or whatever that's going to be, param1 there, and I can duplicate that, change it to a 2, duplicate that, and now you can see I can very quickly build lines based on patterns, that sort of thing. So CodeRush can look at those patterns and make those changes to you. With the Vim key bindings, to increase the size of my selection, I have to hit Command plus Control plus Shift plus arrow left or right, which is awful. So let me show you how you do selection increases here. To do selection increase, I hit the num plus on my keyboard. So I've got a keyboard with a numeric keypad, and one of the default bindings that you can get in the CodeRush setup wizard. Let me just bring that up so you can see it. Next is you can get this where I can get increase selection and decrease selection attached to the numeric keypad bindings. Or select next to increase the number of cursors is Command D, which isn't as bad. We don't have anything for multiple cursor controls inside of CodeRush, but that's essentially already there in Visual Studio. What's there in Visual Studio is there. But we can just hit the num up like this, and if we go too far, we can hit num minus to go back. I find these two keys are the easiest way to increase selection and decrease it if you have a numeric keypad. If you don't, you can use, I think, Control W, and is that right? Control W, Control Shift W. What is Control? What is it? I don't remember what the other shortcut is. I thought it was Control Shift W. No. Nope, I'm not finding it. So maybe it's just not bound. Firepower says definitely some cool stuff. To use a cheat sheet, it's an app. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there. There is. Do we have support? I feel like there is a shortcut binding map, but that might have been an older version of CodeRush, and when we ported to the new piece, we didn't bring it over, it looks like. But there is a cheat sheet you can get online. If you just type in CodeRush cheat sheet like that. The version 3 is the one you want, and it looks like this. So you can kind of see some shortcuts are here for navigation, debugging, code generation, wrapping selections, defining selections. You can kind of see those right there, and then templates as well. So these talk about the templates and how you can use these. With the templates, you can create combos, so you just have to remember a few things, but then you can link those together to create bigger expansions, that sort of thing. In my app, I hold down Control, it gives me that screen. We used to have that, but I'm pretty sure it's not here now. And if it is, it's certainly way too hard to discover. I think this is an older feature that we're not shipping anymore. I'm curious about that. There's also the training window. As well, which can show you and help you learn. But it's okay. It's not great, but it is. Some people find that useful. That's how I was grabbing the shortcuts and learning them. Yeah. Yeah. So those shortcuts are there. They're completely redefinable. So you can go in and in the shortcuts page, you can change it. You can even set up multiple shortcuts that do different things based on context. So that's also not too hard to do as well. You can just set up your context down here, whatever it is. Click this to select what those options are. Used to be an extension for Visual Studio that would let you explore shortcuts. Yeah, they're about, like I want to say about 3,000 different commands that ship with Visual Studio and a lot of default shortcuts that are there. Not sure if that still exists or not. Yeah, I tried Googling cheat sheet but couldn't find it. It's on Mac. Okay. Okay, so what do we got? Where are we? I'm trying to remember where we are. Did we fix it? Oh, we kind of fixed it, but now we've got a new problem, which is in one of the spells. So let's do this. Let's go to this live stream and we're going to re-enable the dice roller on the live stream. We're going to initialize its data. We will confirm that that's working. I'm going to throw out 15 D12s with piercing damage. And we have actually two problems. We can't see numbers bigger than 100 yet, so we need to solve that. So no sounds coming out for 127. And we also, that's problem number one. So let's demonstrate again with, let's throw out 8 D12s instead. Force damage.
$53. Force damage.
Got that delay. I want to look at the delay first. Let's go look at the delay. Report roll results. Play announcer commentary. Play damage commentary. So play the damage. Then this is our duration. This is how long we wait. And I want to subtract maybe 500 from that. So this is whatever the duration is, turning it to milliseconds. And on the end of each of these, I add about 600 milliseconds. So maybe, let's do 450. So now that's my damage commentary. Let's refresh it. And go back to the Stream Deck. Let me do one other thing on my Stream Deck here. I want to grab a button from the admin page, the refresh button here. Copy that. I want to go back into my dice rolling page. I just want to paste it out over here for a second so we can just very quickly refresh. That's useful when I do this and I reload that. I just want to hit that button and that'll make that text go away like that. So let's send out 12 D10s and we'll make it piercing. One of the die, I can hear it. It's not quite settled yet. Is that going to settle? Let's do a roll again. Eight D8 slashing. Not reporting at all. So maybe it did settle. That wasn't my problem. I've somehow created a bug in just what this code right here. Seems unlikely. But let's see what we get. Let's refresh it. Let's do it again. 8 D8 radiant. Give me an error. What did I change? Now I'm like a little bit like, wait, what? Damage commentary? I feel like that was my only change right there. We're not getting here. And am I seeing this line of code? Yeah, I'm not seeing, we're not getting here. What's going on here? This looks like some weird stuff was happening there, but I don't think that's related to the problem, is it? Let's do that and refresh here. Refresh the data. Let's do 5D4 acid. We're not getting here. Why are we not getting here? We're not getting to play announcer commentary. We're getting to report roll results. Report roll results. Play and answer commentary. Wait, we are getting there now. Had code here before that was working, and it's not working now, and it doesn't make sense. Let me try this too. Empty cache, hard reload. Refresh 4D4 fire. Damage summary exists, but it's empty. There's nothing in it. That's what it looks like to me. We're never getting into the for each inside of here. That's what it looks like. Why is that the case? I built a shortcut today in string context for that. Actually, I want to report this as an issue. So we're dogfooding Code Rush here, kids, and I have the context in string as true for this shortcut to expand. And I am here inside a string. If I hit the shortcut, it does not expand. what happens if I turn this from an interpolated string into a regular string? Does it work now? Now it works. So we need to fix that in-string context to similarly identify an interpolated string as, there it is right there. This context needs to be fixed so it also understands that that's true when I'm inside an interpolated string. Ideally, I want a different context that says in interpolated string, which we don't appear to have yet. So that's what I'm looking for. See if we can make that happen. And if you're wondering who I'm talking to the devs is who I'm talking to. So in string context fails in JS interpolated strings. That's the bug. Let me go throw that out into the chat room. Yeah. Data 2 says developers. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. New damage. I wanted to actually, did I clear it? I don't remember if I cleared it or not. Oops. Nope, I didn't clear the context on it. I definitely want to do that because it is useful. Clear that context for now. Okay, so now if I hit Control backspace, it puts all that in for me. Good. Okay, so the new damage is equal to these two added together. So I think I want to do this. I want to create a local variable here. I just want to make this a let instead. Down here, I want to say it's equal to damage type.none. And so now no matter what, I've got a damage type here. Then I think I don't need this block. So if it's not specified, then it's that. Then I'm going to come in here. Now I just want to work with that local instead. Simplifies this code a little bit. What's my problem here? Unexpected lethical declaration in case block. What am I doing wrong here? Do I have... Oh yeah, this is actually a good use of the language. Thanks so much for this, Coding Gorilla. That's a better version of it. But still, I've got a problem here, and I don't understand what's wrong with this. Unexpected lexical declaration in a case block. What are we saying? I can't do a variable inside a case block? Is that what it's saying? The design pattern says looks good. So it doesn't like these two pieces here. All right, well, I can take this one out. So that means this becomes a const over here. You have to declare the variable outside the case, apparently. That's interesting. That's an odd restriction for the language, but okay. Yeah, I don't... It's okay if you add a block. You say add a block, you don't mean like this. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that is what you're saying. Holy cow. I want to bring this back in. Like that. Yeah, I bet that works because it's blocks is scoped. Try using var instead of let. Or const. No, I don't want to use var. That's I have a hesitation on var because its scope is too wide. Yeah, there you go. Design pattern said the same thing. I think you need braces for the case scope. Okay. So here we go. So now let's see what we've got. There's our damage type there. This is cool. Thanks again so much for that, Coding Gorilla. That's like a something I should get in the habit of doing. Setting the new damage out.
The tech room is on fire!
That's right. It's on fire right back there. Yeah, excellent. Excellent work, guys. I really appreciate that. Break inside braces. Okay. No, I appreciate this so much. Okay, so now I'm on to... He meant the or, I think. I think I just want to do something here. And set that equal to the top number. Now that I'm here, I should be able to use that new shortcut. And say just do something like this. New damage 4. And then hit my shortcut, and it gives me this, and now I can paste that in. It's so much faster. New damage for that, and I can also do the same thing up above as well. Okay. So we'll see if we're totaling it up. It's like all of a sudden our die doesn't seem to be counted as damage anymore is what seems to be going on, but not sure. Let's see what happens. 5d6 psychic. You need to move the break call inside the braces. Oh! I did not know that. Okay. Cool. I would think it would have worked the same either way, but it's there. That didn't seem to solve the problem, though. The tally totals... yeah, I'm almost thinking we don't get a good... It's like something really weird has changed. And I think I want to do a... do I have a roll type? Dice roll type? Die roll type. Is that the right type? Die counts as, sorry. I want this to be a string of the enum type. So we can see that as well. Okay, let's refresh again. We're not even seeing those. So that means we're not getting into tally totals. But we are getting get roll results. and we're reporting them. I feel like there's something small here we can't see that just changed the fundamental behavior of this. But we have no errors. We never get into tallying. We never get in. So tally totals is never called. I've got no player ID maybe on it. Let's see if that's maybe my problem. I just selected a player and maybe that doesn't seem to change it. Scores be tallied, dies in play. That doesn't make sense either. So those are my two exit points there. And then I've got this one, or player ID. Okay, let's try again. Refresh. Refresh the data. Player ID is -1. All right, that's my exit. I don't want that to be my exit because even if the player ID is a -1, even if it's a -1, I still want it to be able to count up the damage, and it should be able to do it. The player ID is needed for this section, but I think tally totals. What are we doing with player ID here? Initialize local arrays. Total scores. Move the OR on the player ID check. So the -1 index, is that going to work though? I don't think that's going to work on the, let me show you what I'm worried about here. It's in tally totals is the concern point here. Is right here, it's going to be indexing these by a negative. Yeah. So this is defined as this right here, the total score. So this is basically just a bunch of, it's kind of a predefined size here so I can just access it. Probably not the best way of doing it. Now that we've learned how to use the map, from the damage map, it would be useful maybe to change these to the map instead. That might be the way to actually solve this. Let's see how I'm using these and how I'm accessing them, because it's a little, how big is the refactoring is my question. Also, I'm passing it to roll results. So roll results, that would need to change it as well. We got the D20 roll value there. Yeah, so it's a fairly involved refactoring. But we can make it work. It's manageable. So that we can work with that -1. Problem is I got 3 of these here, but the code is essentially the same all the way across. So it's going to look a little bit like this. Let's just go down the path and see where it takes us. This is going to be a map of index by number to number is what this is going to be. Like that, number to number. Like that. So there's total scores. I'm going to do the same for all of these all the way down. Okay. Next. This is going to be a get, a player ID. Then we're going to say total scores dot set player ID, comma 0. All right. There's 1. I'm going to do the same thing for these other pieces down here. I'm just going to use CodeRush's duplicate line. And change that. Like that. This should be a get right here. Let's look at why is -1. I didn't know if it would cause a lot of rework. No, design patterns. This is not a bad thing. I think what we're doing is actually a good thing. But yeah, no, I considered that. But I'm like 100% going down the path you're suggesting right now. I'm a strong believer in it. The reason it's a -1 is coming from the other app, the C# application. I'm not sure what that is. That's also a separate bug that we can go look at. But this, I really want to try this fix here because it also gives me practice using map. So, that's kind of what I'm looking for here. So then we've got the luck value one as well. Let's duplicate this as well. I want to stop replacing get with initialize in this file. And I want to change this to luck value. And that's it right there. So now I can get rid of these. So there's change 1. Change 2 here is going to be dot set. So we've already got them initialized with the player ID that's in here. So it's already going to be able to, we know the set's going to work. So we're going to say this is equal to that. And then we're setting the value of the get plus the top number. That's now what we're doing there. Down here, we're going to do the same thing with the inspirational value. Whoops, make sure I do this. That's important. Okay. And then luck value, same thing with the luck value. Thanks, Coding Gorilla. And this time it's going to be top number times the bent luck multiplier. Okay, so it's slightly different there. That's the luck value. Let's keep going with total scores. Anywhere else we're seeing it. So this is now going to become .get, single player ID, inspiration value .get, single player ID, and luck value .get. Aren't these D&D rules a little bit crazy? And the modifier and everything else. Okay, that's good. Let's keep going with total scores. Here's another get call. And now we're passing it in. So now we've got our map number that we're passing in. Let's see what inspiration value. I'm using tab to next reference, which is this cool feature in CodeRush that just lets me tab. Hit the tab key and go to each one very quickly to go make sure it's really great for reviewing changes like this. Okay, luck value, same thing. Tab. And here, there's my get on it, and there is the second piece. So we've got two problems. We've got problem 1 and problem 2 we have to fix. So let's go do that. Total scores. This is now becoming that. And the luck value is also becoming this right there. Okay, now we need to do the same here and the same here. Anywhere else these are showing up? Nope. And no. So now we're dealing with these two locally. This has got to be a get. Another get. What's happening here? Why can't I do get? Okay. Then luck value. All right, that looks like that is it as well. Did we just do the refactoring? Flame Creations is here. Rah, 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 rah. How you doing, Flame Creations? Let's refresh. And did we do everything? I'm not sure we did. Let's go. What did I do wrong? What did I miss here? Report roll results. You're always looking all over the place. I'm curious what your setup looks like. Ah. Gotcha. Let's see if I can give you a good... I think I have to do a panorama shot of this thing. Let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, now it tells me to move down. Hold on a second, let me do the panorama again. Hold on. Here we go. Here's your panorama shot. Everything coming across. There it is. Let's see what the data looks like. Yeah, it's all right. Let me set it to my machine. All right, we'll get that. Show the multi-monitor setup on Windows. It's not that exciting. It doesn't actually reveal what's happening. I actually have another computer over here. I'll show you what I mean here. Give me a second. Here it is. That's what I'm looking at right there. So that's a panoramic shot. Right there, you can see I've got the, over here I've got this fabric that kind of comes around the top so that I got this kind of nice diffused lighting. This is the monitor I write code on right up here. And down here, this is OBS. And over here, I've got things that I need. And over here, I've got featured chat. So I can come in here and do something like highlight a particular piece right there and do that, bring up featured chat. Did we forget the player ID check? Yeah, I think you might be right on that design patterns. Yeah, so that's what is going on, Flave Creations. Go back to episodes. He's in a cave, like Superman 3. Yeah, showing my age. Show the multi-monitor setup on Windows. Yeah, I did that. Superman 3 was June 13th, 1983 when I was 9. So it's Smoopy. Okay, so age has been shown and revealed. We're revealing way too much information. That's what it looks like, though. That's kind of my setup there. That's why I'm looking all over the place. One of the other things that's really important that's hard to see is, see this black thing right here? That's my camera. I'm not actually using this one, I'm using this. It's off to the left of center just a bit because I'm to the right of center just a bit, and we flip everything around. So what that means is if I look upper left on my monitor, right, you see about where I'm looking. My eyes go about roughly to that location. So you kind of get a sense of where my eyes are looking. Speaking of which, I've got kind of a side project that I'm thinking about doing. I actually have got, I'll show you what I've got here. I've got a, what is it? The eye tracker software. I've got hardware. I've got eye tracking hardware, and I forget the company, but when we do it, we'll reveal that. And I have a leap of motion hand position detector, finger position detector. And it occurred to me, oh, wouldn't it be cool to be able to just be like, lift my finger and look, and then do that, and then boom, it clicks where I look. So it's a much faster way to get the mouse in the right position. I'm thinking that would be kind of a cool app to do. So we might build something like that in the future on this show. Something I'm thinking about doing. Does it bother anyone else that the monitor on the right is tilted like 5 degrees? I don't think it is actually tilted. I think that's the panorama thing. Oh, maybe yeah, it might be tilted actually now that you say that. That might be because my desk is from, it's breaking underneath, and I've had to, because of all the weight of the monitors, and I've had to add support to it, but it's kind of bent a little bit, so it is tilting in a bit. Yeah. Didn't you used to have a camera on your keyboard? Did, but I don't have it now. But yeah, I used to have a camera looking down from the top. I might add that again in the future. I think it was kind of cool to have that in here. LCD kicks in with the 2 portable monitors and 1 landscape. Yeah, I can see that, but I do find the landscape is useful from time to time, especially on reading documents, long documents, that sort of thing. Pop them over there. You know, that's kind of, I've been thinking about, this setup is working for now. You know, with more time and resources, money, I might do something completely different. I was thinking about having a giant monitor, like really big, like, you know, really big, farther away, with a piece of half silvered glass at a 45-degree angle right as it approaches the screen. So then I can put my camera to the right, shoot it at the glass, the mirrored glass. There would be black in the background, and it would see only my face. Right, so the camera gets my face, and I'm looking essentially right into the camera when I'm looking at the code. That kind of setup is super cool, but I don't have that yet, but that's something I'm thinking about, is something like that. But I have to have a really big monitor, move it further away so I have room for the glass. Got to get the glass, got to mount it in there. It's the same kind of glass they use for teleprompters, that sort of thing. But instead of using it to shine an image in my eyes, I'm going to use it to put my image into the camera and also see through so I can see the code. That's kind of the idea. Need to play with that space. All right, let's go back here and see if we can figure out what's going on with the player ID. Player ID is, oh, we didn't take out the -1. That's what it was. Design Patterns was right. Let's go find that. I don't remember where it is. Player ID equals -1 or less than 0. Here's the place, right? Okay, so now we're going to do this and see if it works. Screech Rat is subscribed. Thanks for that subscription, Screech Rat. It says it played the file down here, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear any announcer commentary on it. Why didn't we hear the voice? I'm not sure why that's the case. Let's try it again. Should be hearing the number 6. All right, let's go figure that out. Play announcer commentary summary exists. So I got a damage amount, 6 and 16. Play damage commentary. Play the number on the total damage. So I want to do, so let's do this. I'm going to copy this to the clipboard, and I'm going to come in and say CL for console log. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to hit my shortcut key and paste play number. So we should see that now coming out. Good, and then we got the play damage call, and we are calling that delay MS. Why isn't the dice sounds playing that number? There's no exit. Let's come in here and we'll say, we'll throw this one out here as well. And let's refresh. Refresh. What's going on? I just noticed my new damage 4. The debugging there isn't right. Let's go find that so we at least get the right message in our new damage. It's going to be over in Dice Roller, I think. New damage 4. It's going to be damage type of damage type. That's what I want. File to play. Numbers 9C. Announcer numbers 9C. Why isn't that playing? Announcer numbers 9C.
9.
That's what we should be hearing. Announcer numbers 9C. I just want to make sure that yeah, that's good. And the fire still as well. So the file names are correct, it looks like. You sound so annoyed at that 9. Yeah, so annoyed at the 9. What is going on? I'm almost like, is this a caching issue? Is this like, how crazy? Like, we're going into code that works all the time and now it's not working. We're trying to figure out why that's not working. Why is the playing the sound not working? Because other sounds are definitely playing. Let me just try this. Let's just like empty cache and hard reload. I don't think that's going to make a difference, but I just want to verify that it's, you know, that it's not going to make a difference, or it will make a difference. Yeah, file names are good. File names look totally good. Why isn't our file name playing? Why are we getting no error at all in here? We're even getting evidence that it's returning and that it's actually playing the song, because the delay milliseconds, this value right here that's coming in, that's coming from well, it's what's passed in to play damage right here. But it's basically getting the duration of the file. So we're loading the actual file up and getting a value here. This value in milliseconds, 2.3 seconds, essentially is what we're seeing there. That 2.3. seconds. That means the file, what was it, 14C, should be about that plus whatever we're subtracting, 450. So it should be about 2.7 seconds long, the file called 14C. So we go into numbers and look at 14C. We see it in properties, details, length is 2 seconds. So I'm going to say that's about right. The only other thing I'm thinking is, like, does somehow it's got a volume control that got shut down? If we played it recently, we return null. That's my only way out. I think I want a new template for console error. That's my only way out of this, right? There's no other return in here, except for at the end. We do have an exception here, right? I'm going to do a console error here. Yeah, let's add the new template. We're going to put it next to console log. Call it CE. Okay. So we type in CE here, and then we're going to say error playing file. So I'm expecting we're about to get some sort of clue in terms of what's going on here. That should totally be happening right about now. Already played it recently. No, wait, no. Error playing file. This is what I'm looking for here. So we're getting an error on there. How do I get the error from a catch? Let's see if we figure that out. Pass it as an argument to the lambda. Here it is. Whoops. I think I saw it. I saw it in one of the previews. Here. So, is it error like this? I'm not sure. I'm not quite seeing it as that, or is it error? Because in the example code, it's error like this. Do I need the parens around it is what I'm wondering now. Let's just throw that out. Looks like it's okay. It doesn't need the parens. Okay. All right, there's that. Refresh. 5D4 force. We've got the streams dice on top of the other ones. Failed because it didn't interact with the document first. Okay, that's not a big deal. I'll click on the document. Was that what was getting us the whole time? And that we just didn't know it because we were hearing the other voices? Oh, that's going to make me crazy. So that was the bug. Oh, that was it.
Force damage.
We hadn't clicked on in this area yet. That's what was going on. Well, at least we figured it out, and we did some, yeah, this one is not that needed. This one's not needed. Okay, so that means we can now come in here and refresh this. Refresh that. Go to here, close that down. And say 5d10 slashing.
$42 slashing damage.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Just cleaning up some of these lint issues here. Let's figure out how to do a number bigger than 100. So I think we need to kind of change things around a little bit here. And architecturally we've got kind of a problem. We need, right now we're, for example, in the play damage commentary, we play the number, we return an audio element, we get its duration, and then we do the next thing. That's what we do. Pattern is only needed for 2 or more. Thanks so much for design patterns. Wait, what was the original issue again? The original issue that we were working on was getting the duration to get closer in space and time. So what we needed to do was subtract a little bit here from that. That's what we were testing to see how is it between the time he says the damage. I'll do it again. Between the time he says the number and the time he says the damage, or fire damage or necrotic damage.
24 necrotic damage.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that. You can tell it's fabricated, it's connected because it's like 24 necrotic damage, right? We could fix that with the sound effect. You could fix that with a separating sound effect between the two, where it says 24 and then ooh, whatever for the necrotic, something similar to that, and then him saying necrotic damage. That could fix that.
7 necrotic damage.
That one was not too bad. It sounded a little more natural than the first one. All right, so the next issue is how do we do numbers greater than 100? The problem is that I don't know how long it takes to say something until I start playing it, but it's not synchronous. So I essentially have to queue up a bunch of different pieces. That's what I need to do. Sign pattern says like it. So I kind of need to rethink architecture a little bit to make this work. And I'm just kind of imagining that now, what that's going to look like. But the idea is that well, so I could do it without changing the architecture. Gotta head out. All right. See you later, design patterns. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Appreciate it. I could, with a little bit of extra code, I could get around this without changing the architecture. Yeah. All right. Runs away from, Coding Girl is running away from Pudding. Pudding's back. Welcome, Pudding. I am working right now putting on, since a huge wave of pudding or of water. Look out, Coding Gorilla, here comes the wave. A pudding wave. Ah, something like this. No, not again. Not twice on one show. I'm looking at the code while this happens. Sends another pudding wave towards Jetsam. I'm just trying to work through how do we solve this, where in order to play 100 and something, I have to play the number 100, and then the second parts of the number I have to play next. Let's start with what it looks like if the number's over 100. Let's just start with that, and we'll think about architecture while we do that. So if total damage is greater than 100, then we're going to say, the problem is it's kind of nested is what it is. It kind of looks one way, otherwise it's this one, and, whoops, no, it's when you control KD, there we go. And now what we want to do is we want to say, num 100s is equal to total damage divided by 100, and we want to round that or floor that, and that's my number of hundreds. And then then I'm going to there's my hundreds audio coming back. Then I'm going to play that number of hundreds. And actually what I want to do is if the number of hundreds is less than 2, yeah, Pudding, but I have to get the timing right is what I have to do. The problem is I don't know how long it takes to play a number until I've started playing it. So I kind of have to start playing it. And so we're using this add event listener. And if it's greater than 100, I have to do 2 nested levels of this. So my hundreds, if my num hundreds is less than 2. Oh, and I also need the word 100. I actually need like 200, 300, 300. I actually probably need... No, we can do this. Play number, num hundreds times 100. That's what we do. So we're going to do the first piece there, the audio piece of it right there. We're going to say hundreds audio dot add event listener. Basically copy all of this from here, right there. And then we're going to, instead of doing the dice sounds play damage, then we're going to come down here and play the rest of the number. And it's like a 1 second tail to all the number of audios. It's like 600 milliseconds is what that is. Got a 600 millisecond tail on the audio. So that's kind of what's going on there. Let's make sure I don't get distracted here. So my hundreds audio is here. I don't have any 200s recorded yet or 300s recorded, but I do have a 100. So it'll say 100. And then we're going to play the next one, which is the total damage minus num hundreds times 100. So that's going to give me the second piece, and this is going to be the I don't know, the digits. I don't know what to call this one right there. And then we're going to go from there to play the next piece. We're going to call play damage. So this, oh, actually the play number we need after a certain amount of time. Okay, I need a variation of that one we were just on. Safe MP3 play audio. I need one that we throw in the time to play it in. And I want to pass in the delay milliseconds here. And now I want to do a set timeout on it. Isn't that what you want right there on line 122? Kind of, but it doesn't return it. Right? And I need to create it, then return. I need to, oh man, no, I can't. I can't do the timeout thing here. Yeah, so it's actually going to go, hold on, we got to go back to where we were. Okay, so we need to set a timeout here. Yeah, I don't like the architecture here, but like I said, we're working our way through it because it's not extensible. It only works here in play damage, and we might want to play more than one of those numbers later. We really need something that says we need a callback to after play number that's ultimately called. Why don't we maybe go in that direction? I'm not even liking this direction anymore here. Wait till Roy's here to beautify that code. Pudding! Yeah, no, he's good for that. He really is. Let's see. I'm thinking about having play number, maybe passing in a method to call the next thing. Like, but I need the extra time. Like I'm thinking about passing into play number. Yeah, I need to queue up the next bit of information. That's the thing that makes this tricky. Should I just wait to do this tomorrow? What's my time today? How far are we doing? Yeah, I might just wait and do this tomorrow is what I might do. Return a promise and fire the promise when the audio is complete. Says Coding Gorilla. Might want to use promises. So this is, let's learn about this actually. Let's see if we can crank this out quickly, learn it, and figure it out. Because I don't know anything about promises. I love it. Using promises first. Yeah, okay, it's good, it feels good. Oh, look at this. Imagine a function. Create audio file async. I'll just set an audio queue structure. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that too, kind of using like the command design pattern, and in the command set up the queued pieces, and when they come back, we execute the next command or the next wave file. Yep. Well, I like the idea of doing it as children instead. I was thinking a list as that. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, the problem is that we're going into play number. I think this is part of the problem. Yeah, so play number's got some very specific code. So we need to create our own kind of element that's going to be able to execute the right kind of code and pass in the right values to that. We also call this very specific play damage. excuse me, sorry about that. And it goes in and it calculates the correct file name based on the damage type. So it's got some very specific pieces. Can we get all these in advance? I guess I can get this. The delay milliseconds we can't. Play number. Let's look at this again. It's just the file to play. So, working on the async queue options for sounds, I am design patterns. We promise you can do something like play number 100, then play number 10, then play. Oh, I like that. Basically, to do something, then Zulix is out there. Thanks for helping on that, and so forth. Okay, so what's the declaration? I want to kind of focus on promises. Yeah, I apologize because I'm kind of like, oh, this is exciting, this is exciting. So let's look at this. Okay. And I assume that the failure callback is optional, so we can just say a bunch of thens with Yep, I like it. I like it. Where's the declaration? What does it look like? Let's see. And then doesn't run until the first part is done. Yeah, Zulix, I love it. Sounds like async queue with an event bus backend for plugging in the values. Yeah, it does sound like that too, doesn't it? I was thinking about that too. And kind of does what I had in mind, but it seems like less code and easier to build if you know what you're doing. Yeah, well, we don't know what we're doing. You know that, kids. That's how we do that show. That's how we do this show. Timing. I don't think I need to worry really about any of this.
Awesome!
Spot 3 mistakes. Yeah, okay, no, I get that. All right, so let's go back to where we were. What's my syntax? How do I create it? I love this show. Good fun. Well, thanks for that. Now I just got to figure out how to do it. It creates a new promise object. I feel like I need to... Oh, here we go. That's it. Where's my promise here? Okay, new promise. And we could just call then right on it there. Tethered get number. Where's tethered get number? Oh, wow, check it out. There's a dot catch and a dot finally in here too. Tethered get number is a function. So it looks like where's my result? There it is right there. What's the way to do async? They're pretty well fleshed out. Okay, I just got to find the... I've got to see how I'm doing it. It looks like I might be declaring something that looks like this. Yeah, that's my simple example. Basic example. Right here. All right, let's copy this. and figure this out. Matching functions to callback. Yeah, you can also run several promises and then attach another one to all of the others to do an all type thing to run something else when everything else is done. That's cool. Maybe it's when all, Zulix is saying, but I'm saying this stuff is off the top of my head. No worries. I think this is where I'm going right here. I think. Or do I want a class that has the promise in it? I'm actually leaning towards creating an audio playing class. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I think. So let's say promising audio. What's that code I had on the clipboard? And then, so the code is going to look like. Let's look at what the code is going to look like on here. Let's look at the client code and see if we can get the client code right. So here's what I wanted to do: is I wanted to say, like it's. And whatever this will be like the file name here, file name 100s, like that, dot, then or maybe it's like this, play, then, and then we have this, then the other sounds go here. Maybe like this. Play of that, then async audio player would be my name, or async queued audio player. I'm going to take it design patterns. Okay, so new async audio player dot play this file name. Then the next file name, the thing that's I'm being thrown by is the word then here. That's kind of, is that a keyword or not? It looks like it's a keyword, is what it looks like. And kind of what I want to do, well, it looks like it's just passing, it's actually just passing a string. You can, whatever we want to pass into it, we can pass. So then I'm going to say, oh no, we've got a problem. Well, here we have to do this. Minus 400 here as a second parameter. That tells us what to subtract off of the final bit before we do the next call to then. That's what I think we want to do. So I want to go into, let's do we need to do a little bit of refactoring here. We need to get the file to play. We need a separate method here. So I'm going to extract this method, go ahead and keep it here in dice sounds. We're going to call this get number file. Like that. And so now we're going to pass in this get number file, and it's going to be, I am liking the way the code is working out here. Num hundreds times 1, or num hundreds times 100. So that's the first thing. We're going to offset the end of that by a negative 400. And then we're going to play the next file. I'm going to bring this dot then to the next line, I think. And then the next file is here. let's create a constant for that 400 or whatever. We're going to say sound file tail trim, like that is equal to 400. How you doing, Karen?
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. Yeah.
We're dealing with a paint emergency right now.
I heard some sounds from the other room.
Paint all over her keyboard.
On our laptop? That's a little tricky.
Our worlds combine. And
The cool thing is that whatever, if you use like alcohol to clean that up, the alcohol will evaporate and won't damage the circuits. Pretty sure about that.
I'm just wiping it right now.
Okay. Yeah, and hold it upside down fast. So gravity is like working with you and not against you. Okay, so we have that one, then we have that, comma, negative sound, trim. Oh, you want to bring it over here? People love to see this. That's what we're dealing with, kids. A little bit of art and computer stuff mixed together. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I would do that and clean it upside down. Okay, do your best on that. Oof, says Pudding. Zulix has got a great emoji face to describe Zulix's reaction to that. You want to do something like const new player is equal to new? Sure, fine. Something like that. Okay. And then I can just do this and then come down and hit play. Right down here. Play that, then that. And then there's one more dot then. And that's going to be the damage. I need to get the damage, the file name here. So let's go look at get damage and find out how we're calculating that. That's not too bad. All right, cool. Come back up here. I do like this code. The code is definitely easier to work with. And then there's no offset here, or is there? No, wait, there is. This has also got the same sound file trim on that.
Hey, Mark.
What you got? Did that happen? No, Pudding. Stop. Player.play. This get number file dot then. Wait, player. I don't understand. Really, Coding Gorilla? That's what I gotta do? Okay, so let me change this up a bit again. So Coding Gorilla is saying right here becomes this, and then again with the play. Is that right? I think that's what you're saying. That's what it is. And then after the play, I'm starting to see it. And then I think we need that paren down there, and then we put the then up in here, is what I think we have. And then right here, we have the async audio player dot play. Again, okay? And no semicolon there. And I think a semicolon there. I think that's it. And we just got to declare play to return a promise, I think. But I feel like we're getting closer. So it takes, we got to do a get number file here too. So play is going to take two parameters, the sound file name and the amount of offset to adjust to determine when we're going to say we're done, I think, essentially. Is that right? Let's see if we can make this work. That's one of the things that makes it tricky. Is the second one is the tail trim in milliseconds. And this one is the file name. And it's going to return a promise if I'm understanding this correctly. All right, so inside play. Oh, you know what? We got to pass in dice sounds too. Chain then in each previous, you have to. Breaky's helping out. Thanks, Breaky. To chain then in each previous, then you have to return promise. So some promise, then some function that returns a promise, then yes. Thanks, Breaky. Coding Gorilla, I think, got me in the right path to that. So yeah. Yeah, I think we got it. You could hide the promise construction behind async audio player API. I don't understand that yet, but we might be doing this. I think I need an additional parameter here, which is this. We need the dice sounds because we need to actually come back and play the sounds is what we need to do. Which, I'm not using this anywhere. It looks like I'm not using that. Okay. I don't think we need anything specifically in dice sounds. We just need the sound manager pieces there. So there's my sound manager. Next, the code is going to look like something like this, I think. And how am I creating this? Resolve, reject. And then I'm going to return the promise, I think. Yes. Okay. So I need to create the new promise here. All right, so there's my promise, my new promise. What's it? I need resolve and reject. I think. But how do I pass those in? I don't understand that. We call resolve when what we were doing asynchronously was successful. Maybe those are done automatically. And do I maybe not need the reject? I'm wondering. Is that an option or not? I can't tell. And then I'm going to say, do this, I think. There. And then this becomes resolve. And does the resolve have the same syntax as this? Oh man, I don't know what to do now. Hold on a second, I missed something in the chat room. Coding Gorilla, you don't need to use the reject if you don't want. Good. All right, you can resolve with whatever arguments you want. The part that I'm a little bit lost on. Well, hold on. Let's get the parts I'm not lost on right here. We know that we are going to return the promise. So we know that's going to happen, right? What's this saying? Const. So I'm going to get rid of reject since I don't think I need that. This is going to come in here into the sound manager. It's going to play the file. What is it? Safe MP3 return audio. And we're going to give it a file name, which is the file name. No compare threshold at all. Okay, here's what we need to do. Yeah, times 1,000 minus tail trim ms. Let's go ahead and give that a default of 0. Okay, this is the delay that we need to now respect, or we need to do the next thing on. We need to call resolved after the delay passes. So I need to do, I need to say delay to success is going to be equal to that. And then I want to do a set timeout. And this is why it gets a little crazy here, because we're not actually waiting for it to finish. We're just waiting to know when it should be done. And then we need a handler, and I think is the handler simply resolve like that. What's my problem here? It requires a type argument. What's my type argument? Wrap resolve around the payload that you want the function to return. Yep, that should work since Coding Gorilla. But I'm a little bit stuck on this right here. New promise of what type? Whatever you want the function to return, I don't think it's going to return anything. Well, it's returning, and isn't it? Yeah, no, I don't think it's returning anything. So I guess it's a promise of void, a number. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Zulix. I just don't understand. Maybe I'm missing it. Yeah, okay. I'll do any. All right. Yeah, or I was thinking void. It's so funny. Like I put in any here, and it's like, no, I don't like that. And I can't do nothing, right? Yeah. Void. There we go. Okay. All right. So that feels a little bit better. That means we need to have a return type as well. Like that. Do I need to do a void here in the constructor? I would think I would need to. Like that. Looks like that's okay. TypeScript doesn't like it when you use any. Yep, you're right. It does not. Okay. So there's a chance. I don't know. Am I missing something? I guess what I'm not sure about is when we come back in and we call the then. Wait, what do we have? What's this problem here? Promise of void is not assignable to parameter type value void. Void equals void or promise like a void. And we're getting it. Oh, it's because I didn't do this. I need the lambda syntax there, right? Okay. I'm not sure if this is going to work all by itself or not. I'm a little bit confused about. Well, no, because we do have the parameters here. I was confused about the parameters getting in, but the parameters are, it's the actual lambda expression or the function. So when we're calling then, should I just run it? Guys, do you see anything wrong with this? Get rid of that. I think it'll work-ish. Okay, let's try it. So let's do one other thing. Let's go into play and let's throw some console log out here. See if we get this working here. This would be so exciting if this worked. Let's throw a bunch of these out here too to Show how excited we are if this actually works. All right, let's refresh. And let's throw out some D4s. Timers are just up values from the closure.
Acid damage.
What's that? Where are we getting this from? I said the console log messages. This may not be coming from it because the damage is not over 100. So that's this code working here. We need to, crank things up. So let's throw it. Let's say we're going to roll 40 D12s, and we'll make it fire damage. We may not hear anything. I'm going to call that pretty quiet. Screen didn't explode. Damage is 253. Okay, so let's try and figure out why this isn't working. Let's go over to our console window. The wrong one. A little messy. Mercantile gas tactical nuclear bomb. 40 D12. That is correct. Okay, one more time. Refresh. Send out, I guess it's reasonable. I can throw out just 20 D12s. We'll do necrotic damage. What's cool is you're seeing this both on the live stream and then behind it as well.
126 necrotic damage.
Kids, that just totally worked, I think. That totally worked. Holy cow. All right, kids, the chat room totally saved my butt. Do I have like any chat room saved my butt?
They're awesome.
Yeah, I got something like that.
The room is on fire.
Guys, you did a great job. You totally kicked my butt with your brilliance. We're very excited over here. All right. That's enough. Stop that, okay? Please. Sorry-ish. And it worked-ish. Do it again, says Jetsam. All right, let's do it on the live stream. We're going to take out this. It's only going to work for numbers lower than 200 because I'm missing the recording for 200. But it should work. Let's try it again. So we're going to throw out, I'm going to say like 25 D12s, radiant damage on the stream. He did it, boys.
48.
Okay.
Radiant damage.
All right, so let's trim this up a little bit here. Let's subtract more than that. Let's subtract, let's just take 600 all the way out. Some of that, you're hearing that kind of overlap that sounds close together. That can be, there's a tweak for that we have. Let me do this too. Let me take this, move this up here. That's super cool. That's so cool. I'm commenting out this code right here. And I still feel like I kind of need, let's put this here like this. I need 100. You're right. I need at least a recording of 100, but I don't have 100 by itself. I just have 100. So I need to fix that. This now becomes, this goes to here. I think total damage is here. And then we play this, and I've got this extra piece right there. Okay, I think that's it. So let's refresh. And now we've got the minus 600, so it should sound a little bit closer together. Let's try it now. So we'll just do something like, we'll do 4d8s.
Force damage.
Really seemed like it's taken a long time to get the end of 8 and force damage. Let's see what, wonder which 8 was played. It didn't occur to me that I needed to make this, yeah. So 0.6 of a second is going to get me to here, not to there. So that one is wrong, 8b. Yeah, it didn't occur to me that I needed to look at this. So we stopped talking there, plus 6 gets me to there. So save that. Yeah, it didn't occur to me that I needed to have really consistent endings. 6.2 right there. Okay, so that could explain some of that until like later, until I was like down around here and I realized, oops. So I've got a bunch of these with inconsistent. I'd have to go review all of those. Let's bump up the numbers here. Let's say we're going to do it to 8 d10s psychic. Yeah, need to trim the audio files.
37. Psychic damage.
All right, let's look at 37. What's going on with 37? Mathematically, it's not quite working out correctly. Yeah, this looks like it's correct. That's got 0.6 of a second on it. Right, goes from 1.2 to 1.8 seconds. That's my 37. There's only one of those. But the delay seemed like a long time. If we go into damage, pretty sure psychic damage starts right at the beginning. Yeah.
Psychic damage.
So what's going on with this? Are we maybe adding instead? Do we have a math error here in play? We do. We've got a minus here. And in our play call, we're adding a negative number in. Okay. So let's fix those. Now if we hear it right on the heels, it'll be like, okay, cool. And we'll switch it back to 400 again. Okay, so let's refresh. No, I don't think the file loading takes a second. I don't. I don't. And the reason why is because we're loading files for the dice clicking sounds, and those all worked really well.
Dude, check out the chat room.
Missed a couple messages. Saw the clip. I didn't click on it. Let's go look at the clip. See how good it is. We'll do necrotic damage. What's cool is you're seeing this both on the live stream and then behind it as well.
126. Necrotic damage.
Kids, that's yeah, that's me. Pretty excited. Okay, what are we doing? We're testing now to see if the new dice rolls are sounding better. I'm just start with a simple one. 4d4 fire.
16. Fire damage.
Didn't I refresh that? Maybe I didn't refresh it yet. That should be fixed. What am I missing? Missed a couple minuses? Oh, I did?
9. Fire damage.
Okay, got one for the 100. You're right, there's that one. Oh, and one here too. That's it. Okay, thanks so much. One more refresh. You guys are saving my butt. I think I made butt plural in that last sentence. All right. Here we go.
13. Psychic damage.
Okay, that's better. That's totally better. Let's get to, let's throw just a couple more. Let's do 10 d8s.
39 necrotic damage.
Way better. Way better. All right, let's get to 100 and something now. So we're going to say, let's do 40 d8s psychic damage. That doesn't sound so good. I'd like to fix that sound on that. It's trying to settle. I can hear some dice. Yeah, you see them right up there.
173 psychic damage.
Boom. I'm going to call that done. We did it, kids. We did it. Yeah, Coding Gorilla's got my back. You guys have all got my back. Thank you so much. That was really, really awesome. That's a little crazy. All right, kids, thanks so much for being with us. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what the heck we're going to do tomorrow. Follow us if you're not already, and we'll see you. We'll see you then. Let's get a raid going. In the meantime, yeah, so many sounds. That was a little crazy. We can trim that down a little bit. Let's see who's out there. Vape Juice Jordan. I've never raided Vape Juice Jordan before. Let's go send you over there and see how that turns out. Yep, tomorrow Rory won't be here. Yeah, awesome job, everybody. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks, Firepower. Appreciate it. All right, kids. See you tomorrow.